You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
Well, hello and welcome to Church Street Park. Thank you guys for stopping by. We're here at the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championships presented by Yash Technologies. I'm Om Patel, and I'm joined by Nate Hayes. Nate, what a day. We're back in it. It's the Fort Lauderdale Lions taking on the Baltimore Royals.
Can we possibly see a game as good as we did last night? I don't think we can, but let's see it. Another good one. We definitely have what it takes here in the South Division this season. These are two very, very good teams. We've only seen a little bit of action here at Church Street. We didn't know what to expect last night, but now I think we got a good idea.
Well, we got to take a look at that wicket again and see what it was like. I was out there just a little bit ago. Let's take a look. Well, it's day 2 at Church Street Park. Same wicket, but a little bit different because you see those clouds circling behind me, the wind's coming in. There's no signs of rain, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. But speaking about this surface, it's yet again another good one. Let's just take a look down here. Still plenty of grass, some of that live green grass patches around. But the big thing for me is the sound of this wicket, nice and hard. Take a listen. Plenty of bounce and swing on offer, and really it is going to be a batter's surface. There's going to be plenty of runs scored. The big thing for me, the cracks have opened up, so the spinners on both sides are going to really enjoy that, especially close to the batters on the fuller length. But to me, this is still a ground that is all about the batters. Nice and solid bounce, should be a high-scoring affair. Go.
Well, there you go. We didn't know what to expect before last night. It was the first game here at Church Street Park this season. We didn't know how the wicket was going to play. It looked like a really good wicket for batting. It turned out it was a great wicket for everybody. I think you can really score big here. You could take wickets. You could turn it apparently in the evening when the sun goes down. So we saw Fort Lauderdale choose to bat first here.
Yeah, they did choose to bat first here yesterday with that toss. Didn't seem to make much of a difference. But let's go to that toss today. What happened? What was the result? Match number 2 here at Church Street Park, an absolute cracker last night. I got both captains with me, Ravinder Singh and Tajnaran Chandrapal, joined by the third umpire, Ravinder Singh. He's going to be the home captain. He'll have the coin in hand, and he'll be off to give it a flip. He's got the coin, and it's good to flip whenever. And it's up. Call is a heads. Wait for official signal, and it will be a heads. So, Tajnaran, you're 2 for 2 on tosses. I'll have you just join me here. You've won the toss today. What have you elected to do?
We're going to have a bat again today. Pitch was good yesterday, so hopefully we get a good start again today.
Yeah, very close game yesterday. Came down to the final over. What's your message to the boys to kind of get them back into the flow?
Well, a few little mistakes in the field probably cost us the game, so hopefully pull up on us a few areas today and get over the line.
Any changes in the 11 today?
We got 3 changes today. Achilles out, Vinit in, Ryan Passad out, Mohibin and Baranchu out, and one other change.
We'll figure it out when we get the team sheets. Good luck today. Thank you very much. They're going to bat first. We'll get Ravinder Singh to come in here. First game here at Church Street Park. How are you feeling about it?
Yes, look like good. So I'm feeling very positive with a very positive energy. We have good of bunch.
You didn't win the toss today, but had you have won, what would you have liked to have done?
Yeah, I'll also go with the bat because wicket is really look good. It's a bit of hard wicket, so I'll go with the bat so.
And you must have seen a little bit of the game yesterday. What did you pick up from watching yesterday's matchup now that you have to bowl first?
Yeah, actually the deuce came in the picture. So after second inning, so actually that would help for the batting.
All right, well, good luck today. Thank you very much. Well, that is the news from the middle. Tajnaran Chandrapal, he makes it 2 for 2 on tosses 1. He'll look for his first win today as the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They've won the toss, and they've elected to have a bat. Well, there you go. You heard it there in the middle. It's the Fort Lauderdale Lions winning the toss yet again, choosing to have a bat first. So we'll get to see them in action. You heard there in the middle that Tajnaran Chandrapal, he has 3 changes. Couldn't quite remember what those 3 changes were, but we have them for you now. Gudanshu Sharma's out, Ryan Prasad is out, and so is Achilles Brown. Coming into the team is Vinit Tagarse, it's Elton Tucker Jr., and it's Mohib Siddiqui. So you got a pacer, you've got yourself a left arm spinner, and you got yourself a leg spinner, all into the team today. For the Baltimore Royals, they'll still be without their main captain, Jaskran Malhotra, picked up an injury, but we'll get to see them with the ball in hand first. And we'll see Zaid Alam with the ball. He was so impressive last weekend, Nate. I mean, the first time I had seen him in person, and he came with the pedigree of playing Pakistan under 19s, and he was just so very good.
Yeah, you were raving about him on the minor league live show on Wednesday nights that we do at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. Pacific, and all the times in between in the other time zones. But yeah, you were raving quite a bit about him. I love having this added talent here in the South. The South looks extremely good this season, and we can't wait to bring you all this action.
Well, it's Tajrine Chandrapal who's opening alongside Isaiah Raja. First ball with the slip in place. Swing straight away. You see it coming back in the Chandrapal line 2 straight. So first runs courtesy of an extra.
I think you don't know how much the ball's going to swing here sometimes. I think it's going to swing a lot today. It just seems to have those conditions for swing right now.
Yeah, we talked about it, overcast a little bit, clouds coming in, wind is pushing around quite a bit, so it seems like a tough time to bat right now. Again, movement there, started to come back in and then shift away as the lights come on at Church Street Park. And again, just an interesting decision to have a bat first. And we also did hear that Ravinder Singh wanted to do the same. I felt this would have been the toughest part of the day to bat during.
Yeah, I agree with you. It typically is here at Church Street Park. Typically, you have a slower start in the first innings at Church Street Park. Now, last night, I felt like things were a little bit different. We saw a lot of turn on the wicket in the second innings, which was unusual, but I think that's due to a little bit of extra grass on the wicket, something for the ball to grip.
Hit firmly, but just to the fielder. This is a good start so far from Alam. You can see he's using all of his experience. He's pitching the ball up versus last weekend. He was much shorter with his lengths, using the surface and taking the bounce. Today he's using that swing. Again, a lot of grass on this wicket. It's really all grass, and then a couple of live green spots, maybe some cracks, but this is a game going to be ruled by fast bowling, it feels, at least during the first innings.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we saw Chandrapal playing for the swing on that second ball that just missed his bat.
This time, we'll pick the gap with Chandrapal, maybe just a fractionally too full from Alam, and it'll end up 4 runs.
You'll take that in the first over, the first innings here, especially on that second ball that just missed quality his bat. Bowling, as you have put it.
This time, we'll pick the gap with Chandrapal, maybe just a fractionally just got a little bit too full, and slip had been moved out of place because Chandrapal's eyeing that mid-wicket region. If you're Alam now, I think the key here is, can you move it the other way? Everything's moving back in. If you want to shift the other way, you bring in a backward point.
Absolutely.
Stay straight and pull the length back. Running hard. This was a feature of the Lions game yesterday and going to be a real key. Nate, we talk about a lot of high scores we expect on this wicket, but it was a 152 game, and really only 152 because of 2 bad overs combined from both sides yesterday.
Well, that's true. You're right. Both sides did give up a 20-plus run over. Otherwise, it would have been in the 135-140 range. But I still think you're going to want more than 150 in this first innings.
Yeah, I would have to agree, but it just shows you bowling tight here can make life difficult. Quick single going at it. It'll beat short cover. This is good running, good intent from the Lions captain so far, and it means Raja will come on to strike. Raja struck it well yesterday, really got himself into the game early, was the aggressor of the 2, 14 off 9, if you remember, before he was undone by an LBW. He impressed with the ball, but this is a man, Raja, who wants to be aggressive early.
Yeah, you mentioned he was impressive with the ball. That is an understatement. He was absolutely phenomenal with the ball yesterday. But as you said, it's his ability with the ball, his performance with the ball might have made people forget that he's actually good with the bat too.
Yeah, and again, had a decent start yesterday. It was just he kind of almost threw it away. But very explosive is Rajab. Helped off the pads. It'll beat the fielder inside the ring, and it'll beat the fielder out in the deep as well. So first ball, first boundary for Isaiah Rajab.
And that's the over there, but well played. Neither batter has had a problem with the ball under their eyes swinging in to their pads.
Well, that'll close out an eventful first over for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. It's 12 without loss. Well, even with all that swing, Nate, we're going to see off spin straight away. It was a pattern C pace and then spin yesterday, but the Baltimore Royals loaded with spinners. They look at Sharad Lumba as the man they're going to go with.
Yeah, and this is the benefit of starting with two lefty bats. You kind of take the swing out of the equation early on.
Just a push into the offside, no run on offer. Lumba comes with, very illustrious background. He's more known for what he does with the bat, but this is a man who's played in the IPL as part of the Mumbai Indians and was really a factor in India when he played for Punjab. Now here in minor league. Brilliant. Dajnaran Chandrapal has picked up Lumba, and he's taken him all the way down the ground for 6.
And that's a lost ball. That bounced right into the ravine back there. That one's not coming back. So the umpires will have to fetch one out of the box, out of the special ball box.
And if Chandrapal can get going, we might see that ball box out quite a bit. Again, there is a hefty breeze over there. It's blowing into that direction. This is why I was surprised maybe spin from this end, allowing the batters to hit with the wind in the power play, especially with the swing that we're getting right now. Having a little bit of prolonged break, but Nate, while we have this little break in play, I mean, minor league cricket is not just at Church Street Park. It's happening all over the country, and we've had some really incredible matches all the way through, and incredible performances. Harmeet Singh last night and Shubham Ranjane, how good were they? Gurjit Singh this morning. I mean, we've had some really phenomenal matches and performances.
Yeah, a lot of action in the West the last couple of days, which was very different from last week. If you want to check that out, listen to Joe Hickey over there. We highly recommend it. He's amazing on commentary. But so are these two. These two teams are amazing as well. The East Bay Blazers off to a good start with a win today over the Silicon Valley Strikers. And the Strikers yesterday beating the Golden State Grizzlies. The Golden State Grizzlies are a very young team this season, captained by Vatsal Bekhela.
Yeah, new role for Vatsal. He was, one of the best bowlers in the entire competition just a couple of seasons ago, so highly regarded with the ball, has played for the USA, and I like this kind of transition period almost of minor league where you're seeing a lot of the high-flying youngsters that came in when the league first started. Now they're given more responsibility, given that leadership. I think of Sanjay Krishnamurti in East Bay. I think of Vatsal Bekhela out there with the Golden State Grizzlies. Those guys are starting to now become leaders amongst the group.
Yeah, 100%. And because of that movement to youth in Golden State, the Golden State Grizzlies move into a much younger team. It does a couple things for them. It saves them a little bit of money and not having to pay big name stars, but it also gives the youngsters a chance to shine and they hopefully will stick around with that team, and that team can build up and be really good in the future.
Well, new ball is back for the Baltimore Royals, but Chandrapal has been the man who's gotten everything going. Changes in the field coming now. As what was a deep cover comes in, long on goes back in a deep mid wicket. Again, that's where the wind is blowing. Pulled the length back, and This is where Lumba's going to operate. There are some cracks on this end of the ground. I think all the spinners are going to operate from the Cedar Fork end. There are more cracks where Dajnaran Chandrapal is standing now than where Lumba's bowling. So if you're going to bowl spin, this is the end to do it on. But you've got to get your lengths right.
Yeah, at the same time, we saw a lot of success from the northern end of the ground, from the Shiloh end of the ground yesterday with spinners, especially leg spin.
Big shout. Says no to the umpire, but you can see that one was quicker on to Dajnaran, and this change of pace is what Lumba did really well in Atlanta.
Yeah, Alvin Burnett did not like it. Wasn't going to give that an LBW. Alvin is a staple of this community.
Yeah, Yorker length there, dug out for 1. So now we'll get to see Raja. And remember, he was dismissed by an off-spinner yesterday. It was Trevon Griffith that got him. It was a full toss that struck him on the pads trying to play a reverse sweep. So I expect a little bit more of a stable approach on Lumba here.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is just, it's great to see this clash right here between two very good, high-caliber players who have had a lot of high-level experience.
And you see big drift on that one. Came back on Raja quite a bit. So this is what we saw from the bowlers yesterday. Some drift, and this is more of what we saw on Friday. 2 overs gone, 19 without loss.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, pace is off straight away, Nate. Interesting decision. Again, I thought with the amount of movement we've seen, it would have been more pace, but they've opted for more spin. And this is a team with a lot of spinners. We talk about the likes of Daron Davis, Sarpjit Ludda, Obis Panar. We saw Sharad Lumba, Ravinder Singh will roll his arm, which looks like is happening now.
Yeah, Ravinder Singh, terrific player from both sides with the bat and the ball. He's got to talk about experience. This is a player with loads of experience.
He's got a deep mid-wicket and a long off. As this one is just pushed into the offside. No run available there.
Well, you mentioned using the wicket from the other end. That was a very well-flighted ball. So maybe that's the tactic from this side.
Another push, but no run available there. The tight stuff here from the Baltimore Royals. This is kind of the staple we expect, right? They don't have a lot of pacers that they play, but there will be the other one that you see, so the spinners are going to have to operate well. Use the feet here from Chandrapal. They'll get their run away.
Yeah, nice footwork there. Yes, bowling to the lefties, giving them flight where on their leg side is actually the shorter boundary. So it's tempting. They're tempting them to try to hit for 6 here.
Well, there you go. He obliges this time. It's Isaiah Raja who skipped down the track, and he sent a huge 6 to where the VIP tent used to be.
Yeah, right over there to our friend Joggin. I said it just in time, didn't I? They're trying to get them to go for this, and boom, he did it. He scurries down the wicket and launches one. Probably swung at about 80% of his strength there. Nice and easy.
It just timed it over a little bit into the wind, but safe in this power play. Tucked into the onside. Good batting this from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Get your boundary, get off strike. A much more measured approach so far from Isaiah Raja.
Yeah, I think yesterday they understood that if they had, they understand that if they had stuck around a lot longer yesterday, that would have been an easy win for them.
Chandrapal wanted the big one, but that one is swung a ways away. It'll close out a good over for the captain of the Baltimore Royals, but it's an over that Fort Lauderdale Lions got 8 off of. 3 gone, 27 without loss. Change of ends for Zaid Alam. He'll come in from that far end of the ground, the Cedar Fork end of the ground. So change of ends from him. It's what we saw the Pacers yesterday operated for the Marshall Raptors. Think of Barnwell, think of Abinan Bolasetti and George Baldwin.
Yeah, we did see a lot of pace from this end yesterday. Now with the lefties up, their leg side is the deep boundary from this end.
We'll see what Zaid has in. He got a lot of swing and purchase in that first over. In the air, goes away from the fielder and it'll run all the way to the boundary. Maybe not the most convincing stroke from Raja, but safe with the fielders inside the ring.
And that is the short side. That's the short boundary on this part of the square. Yeah, all he had to do was pretty much clear the circle, and you have a little bit of a slope there, a 1 degree slope.
Yeah, you saw Raja
1%.
get the ball pushed away from him, and he was committed into that stroke with that short third. This could be really an intriguing question. That's what you want Alam to do. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get it to angle in and then move away off the surface. It was too full on the last occasion. This time, though, really great.
That's exactly the ball you've been calling for, Amon. That's exactly the ball. And right now, your 2 deep fielders are on the leg side. One of them at deep square.
Yeah, and I think the ploy is you want him to push through coverage. You want him to push to the upside and edge it to Ahad Malik. Get a single off the way, but this is a good contest. This is what we love about Church Street Park, right? It's this kind of back and forth. It's ebbing and flowing. Right now you would say there's no clear favorite. You'd say the Lions are head of the match just because they haven't lost a wicket, but 1 wicket would really change our equation here.
It would. You can't really force a lot here at Church Street Park. You have to play the ball on its merits. You have to play the ball on its merits. You have to play the shot that you're given for a while and try to preserve those wickets, try to go, keep the scoreboard ticking, and then force it late.
That one sneaks into the wide line. After a strong start from Chanderpal, he's just kind of slowed up, back to a run of ball. Remember, he hit those couple of boundaries early, and you thought, oh, he's going to get off to really a flowing start, but he's been kept under check in his last, say, 8 deliveries.
Well, with Raja going at the rate he is, there's no real reason for Chanderpal to ramp it up and take any risks right now. Only 2 balls left in this over.
Straight. Fielder will get there. It wasn't incredibly well timed. This is going to be 2 runs. Well done by these Fort Lauderdale Lions runners. Knew that long on was very, very wide, so was able to get 2 around.
Folks who have paid attention to this team over the years might notice a player missing from the squad, from this Baltimore Royal squad. Ritwik Behera not in the team this season. He is playing in another division.
Yeah, he's not there. Deverell Green, how the pace attack last season, no longer part of this team. So there are some new faces and new roles, and I think with Ritwik gone, there are still plenty of bats in the team, but the pace department is where they're lacking, and Alam's coming nicely. Digs it in short, well dealt with from Chandrapal. Actually really came up quick on him. 2 runs, could be close. The dive comes out, and the finger stays down. Risky running there from the line captain.
Yeah, Malik wanted that one. He thought he had it. We see Malik every once in a while get in risky situations running too, but
well, it'll be a risky 2, but they'll get it at the end. 4 overs gone, 36 without loss. Lumba to change ends now, and seems like Ravinder Singh, after that initial over, has said to himself, okay, we're going to go spin from this end, pace from the cedar fork end of the ground. And, you know, Lumba's kind of made his minor league fame, his rise to fame would maybe be that final over that he bowled against the Atlanta Fire on one day, where he ended up cramping with just a couple deliveries to go, unable to finish the over, but he's getting 2 here today.
well, cramps and cricket go hand in hand. You know, I think, what do you think? Do you think that was, how bad was that cramp?
You know, he came up after the delivery was bowled and was hit. This one's going to be wide, and, you know, it's good just to see him back at full health, that it wasn't a prolonged injury. You know, you'd say the Royals have been, you know, they're missing some key members. Jaskar Malhotra not here because of an injury. He collided with Sarbjit Ladda and has come up, you know, gimpy with his leg. And then Mohammad Mohsin not available in the CPL. So those are 2 really big cogs in their machine that they're not going to have access to.
But they do have Daron Davis in the team. Drafted in Major League after a phenomenal season in the East with the bat and the ball last season. What is our favorite thing about Daron Davis?
I think you're going to say his fielding. I think that's what you're going to say with Daron Davis.
We need to see some of that today.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I think his fielding is very exceptional. I think he's just a great person also. Very, very lively character, I would say. Love to watch him that way as well. But this has been a good fight back from the Baltimore Royals after that initial onslaught. This could be close. Little question there. Don't think Chandrapal knew exactly where that ball had ended up.
And we see Davis over there, backward point right now. He loves that position inside the power play.
Yeah, he's quick on his feet, gets to the ball nicely, and then good hands, good concentration. We saw it with that brilliant catch on opening day in Major League against the Texas Super Kings. Calls for 2. Gonna have to test the arm of Obis Pinar. Looks good and is given. Obis Pinar on the deep, fired it in quick, and the captain gets run out.
Oh, we've seen a couple of, I think, unnecessary chances taken here by Fort Lauderdale. Obis is a good fielder. He's going to throw it accurately. He knew he had time to get it there. He just had to get it right on line, and he did. There you go. Boom.
And just take a second look at this.
This is
a good collection there from Lumba. He got his hands, it was low, got his hands up as well. And Chandrapal, the dive wasn't good enough. And a clear call given out as Chandrapal goes for just 20 off 19. It's 40 for 1. It's Brian Gale who's walked out. No Gudanshu Sharma, who batted at 3 yesterday. So Gale starts at the non-striker's end. And they'll just take one in that similar position to Hubis Pinar. I wanted to see if they learned the lesson, and they have. So we'll get our first look at Gale with the bat.
There was a thought. You could see it. You could see it between the two batters as they were crossing. There was a thought. Should we do it? Should we do it?
So for Brian Gale, who we saw mostly with the ball yesterday, now gets to feature with the bat in hand. A little bit of an interesting situation. You're 40 for 1. You're in a good place with the runs. You just have to make sure you keep things flowing. This is only a 4-run over, so a single boundary would be helpful. You're headed towards the end of the power play, but a good chance for Gale to get himself in.
Yeah, 45 to 55 for 1 in the power play here is a good place to be. It's a really good place to be. Let's see if they can keep that 1.
That's going to be the key, and Gale vastly experienced. As he gets one through the covers. Well, there you go. Open his account straight away with the flowing drive. Picks up 4 runs.
Well played. Way to get yourself into the innings there. Great stroke here. Let's see. Just meets the pitch. All he had to do was step over towards it. And he's giving it to the Royals backups.
Well, there you go. 5 overs gone. 42 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
The Lions are in a good spot here with 1 over to go in this power play, with themselves just in a good position, getting themselves with runs on the board. Just that 1 wicket gone. It's going to be Butad who comes in with the ball, and it's actually Jaskaran Butad. So there you go. They're without Jaskaran Malhotra, but not without a Jaskaran.
I guess you need to have a Jaskaran in this team at all times. It's one of the rules.
Well, he's going to come in with some right arm pace. Big and tall. A little different flavor from Alam. Misses the run up straight away. But, Nate, we were talking in the break how brilliant that collection was from Sharad Lumba. Talk to me about it.
Oh, man, it's difficult to do that. Ball bounced 2 times, and it when it bounces twice, you don't know how that second one's going to do, especially when it's hitting on the square. It might hit something hard, So, and when it's bouncing towards the edge of where the square is difficult too. But it was an excellent collection. That's what made the run out, and I thought that was a really good call there also by the umpire.
Well, in for Butad's first delivery. And you can see it here. It's one of those actions that almost reminded me of a Mitch Johnson action where he kind of loads it low and then slings it off his body. But you can see a little bit of extra bounce from a fuller length.
Yeah, that kind of a sequencing, loading it low and then sling. I think that aids a little bit in helping your arm trail the rest of you, where you get that sling, where you get the shoulder behind the hip, the separation there that allows you to utilize your entire rhythm.
Well, from the high school quarterback himself, talking about hips and shoulder separation, not surprised that Nate Hayes knows all about those throwing mechanics. Bowls a very heavy ball. We talked about it yesterday with the young Raptors bowler. And, you can just see how that ball come off the bat and just really just be stifled off connection.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good connection, and it doesn't sound like it feels too great in the hand.
Yeah, but you can see the plan here from Butad is to angle it in, and he's got a deep backward square, but with Raj's capabilities, I would just almost maybe does he decide to step across and open up fine leg. Fine leg is inside the ring, but he just has to lift it.
We haven't seen him move too much with this bowler.
And that's the reason I'm asking for it. Just because you can see the angle is coming all the ways back into you. This one's straight too far for a wide. If you do just step over and he follows you, you're just guiding it off your hip and you're just helping it up on its way.
Yeah, absolutely. Try to get that access that fine leg region for a boundary. But yeah, it's difficult angle to when a bowler's bowling quickly, that's a difficult angle.
Difficult to create, but against that T20 batter, have to find ways to score. Looked in that region of the ground, but nowhere to go. It just kind of rushed on to Raja. He was almost anticipating it, Nate, but this is a testament to Buttar's pace. It just came up onto much quicker than he expected.
Yeah, absolutely. It's maybe it's the pace that's kind of sticking him into his crease a little bit there. We saw it from the very first ball. He's not moving his feet around much with this particular bowler.
Yeah, he's been looking to stand and deliver. And if you're Buttar, another thing I would call into play here, third man is in the deep. Almost say bring third man in, bring fine leg back with the angle you're creating, and dare Raja to play through the offside and open up his stumps.
Yeah, that's good thinking. And there's a single there. Oh, a little scamper, but nothing. It results in just a single. But yeah, that's a great point. And what that does is it kind of takes away the chance of having.
That second wicket comes into place to close the power play. It's now 48 for 2. Nate, you called for this Shiloh under the ground to see some leg spin. We're going to get to see it. It's Sarbjeet Ludda, who's bowled Nate Hayes' favorite spell in the history of minor league cricket. After this first delivery, he'll talk about the 5 balls that changed his life. As this one's been fended away. Nate, tell us about those 5 deliveries.
Well, it was just one of the craziest things you've ever seen last season. It was basically he took 5 wickets in 5 legal deliveries. There was a wide mixed in there, but just incredible stuff from Sarbjeet Ludda. This after he had been drafted into Major League Cricket by MI New York and played a couple of games.
And you can see already heavy turn on this surface. Not a lot of cracks in it. It's just a little bit of grass factor. It's this dry grass over there. So there is going to be turn on offer for these bowlers. And you like the attacking mentality from Ravinder Singh. Noticing the power play is done. Says, all right, we'll open it up and dare them to score runs off our premier leggy.
Even with all that turn, you still have to put it in good areas.
And he's putting it in really good areas. We saw Adam Khan do this for the Fort Lauderdale Lions yesterday in really all types of situations. Now, this seems to be a little bit of an injury here. He's hurt his finger, asking for tape, and it looks like that finger is not coming straight back up. Could have been a case where the balls hit the finger flush, and we're going to hope that, I believe that's Ravinder Singh who's going to be okay.
I think a fielder's coming in right now for him, so he'll go get tended to. Probably come back in. Will we see him bowl again? That's a question, even if he was healthy. The amount of spin bowling options that Baltimore has. We still haven't seen Daron Davis. We haven't seen 4 yet from Ludda. We're probably going to see him 4 on a trot from him.
Yeah, well, if that was Ravinder Singh, which I think it was, the question also becomes who's your standing captain. You've lost Jaskar Malhotra. Now the man who's come in for him seems to be off the field for at least right now. Who's your standing captain whilst he's away? Got a lot of experience on this team, but starting to pile up on these injuries.
Ooh.
How is that missed? Brian Gale is going to feel very, very fortunate when he watches this one back. A wild hack that just evades off stump.
He'll be fortunate that this wasn't last summer, because that would have been a wicket for sure, the way that Ludda had his luck. But look at that ball. What a delivery. He is turning it quite a bit.
Finds the outer half of the bat and no runs on offer. And you can see Gale getting antsy now. We've seen those wild hacks. This one was trying to force that single with Kevin Stout. And Ludda's on the verge of a maiden to open up his account at Church Street Park in 2024.
He must love bowling here. I swear he must. He looks so good. He always seems to perform here. I mean, he's a class player, of course, but we got 5 straight dot balls to start the leggies off at Church Street Park, right where they left off yesterday. We've seen a lot of different variety of leg spin styles too, with Raja bowling, not turning it quite as much. Adam Khan turning it pretty well, finding his spots, and of course Ludda here taking full advantage of the turn that's on offer.
Changing the field now. Mid wicket has gone to fine leg, and deep backward square has come much straighter. So a packed leg side, gifting a single if he turns his wrists. And can only find Sarbjeet Ludda. A maiden to start himself out. The scores haven't changed. It's still 48 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Lights are out at Church Street Park, and Butad is becoming a star amongst our very eyes. Had a really good first over, just gave up 3 runs, took that wicket with an incredible ball swinging back into the left-hander. Now he faces the right-handed Kevin Stout. Stout's off the mark straight away. Nate, Stout scored a 50 yesterday, and a really important 50 in the context of the game. It feels like you needed that one bat to step up yesterday, and he was that man.
He wasn't terrific with the ball, but Stout finds a way every game to make an impact, it seems like to me. He was one of the best players in the entire South last season, in the entire league, really. He's an exciting player to watch. It's great to have him here in the South, but he's a big part of this Fort Lauderdale team, really threatening this division this season.
Yeah, again, they were as close to the playoffs as they've ever been. And I think the key for Gale also is to continue to rotate strike. We saw him play a maiden out. Stout is very keen and able to get ones, and if you can just facilitate ones in this middle period, you set up the game. That's what we saw from the Lions and the Raptors yesterday. Don't be afraid to get boring. That'll be pushed out for a wide, but Gale has made his mind up. He's not going to sit back and let Butad bowl. He wants to come down the ground. He's going to make something happen.
Well, let's see. Hopefully something does happen. I love it when somebody tries to take somebody on, because you get good things. You either have success or failure.
Well, there you go. I guess that's a good way to think about it. You got success or failure. That feels like the 2 options. Maybe there's a neutral.
The neutral just happened.
Right,
well, not
yeah.
really. That was a wide. So that was a
there
failure by the bowler there.
There you go. Failure by the bowler, maybe. But we saw Stout have a word to Gale. Does it change the intent? Yeah, it did. Again, that's I think the smarter play here. No need to come down the ground, try to force it into areas, push one where the gaps are.
Yeah, Buttar is looking very impressive. Another exciting new addition to the Southern Division here. I am looking forward to watching him bowl a lot.
And again, he just adds another element to this pace attack that features Zaid Alam, who features Aryan Butler. Already 2 very different types of pacers, right? Alam much quicker, swings it. You have Butler, who's much more the cutter, I think there's a Romanian type of bowler. And now you add Buttar, who seems to be kind of the little bit more of the Josh Hazelwood, if you will. A little bit back of a length, bowls a heavier ball.
Getting swing.
Well. He does get swing as well when he decides to pitch it up, but this seems to be his stock delivery.
Yeah.
Back of a length, bowl heavy, get a little extra bounce, and so it just keeps batters on your toes when you're facing the 3 different flavors of bowling.
Well, that's right, and as you saw with the wicket that he took against the left-handed batter, Isaiah, his ability to put it back a length, and then swing in the fuller one, that is a dangerous combination.
Yeah, 100%. And again, for the Baltimore Royals, this is a team burdened with expectations this season. They brought in a lot of big names, and this is a team that many have as the favorites in the South and maybe one of the favorites in the entire league. Swing of plenty on that occasion. You talked about it, how he's going to go back a length, and then the one pitched up is going to swing. There you go, Exhibit A.
That swung pretty good. That swung quite a bit. We're getting really good swing here in the 8th over. Good conditions for it.
Again, a lot of grass on the surface, and even with the game being played on it yesterday, same surface, there's still those pockets of green grass. It's, clouds have kind of shifted away, but this feels almost like your swinging conditions, really.
But you don't have the sun beating down on the wicket, taking the moisture up out of it.
Strays down the leg side. It'll be a wide that way.
And what that does when the sun's beating down on that wicket, and obviously you're going to have some evaporation, that keeps the air from being still enough for the ball to swing. That keeps the air from being suitable for swing conditions.
Again, I'm maybe a sucker for this, but as someone who bowled pace my entire life, I love seeing that fastball and love seeing the ball moving around, and a nice change of pace. Very different from Atlanta, more of a spinner's wicket. This one, very much in it for the pace bowlers. As that heavy ball was bowled once again, that use of the feet from Gale came out, but again, Batur is just showing this. He's the one who's not being afraid to get boring here. He's not good looking to bowl that exceptional swinging delivery every single delivery. He knows where his stock ball is, and he's daring these Lions batters to score off of it.
This is a great combination. This bowler is so much fun to watch.
Might have found a gem here. The Baltimore Royals didn't play. This is his first time playing in 2024. And through the first 11 deliveries, he's given up 7 runs and taken a wicket. And nearly took wicket number 2 there. Gale got antsy, big hack, and a big miss. But how about this, Mathur? What a spell he's having. 8 overs gone, 52 for 2. Ludda in with his second over. And finally, a run comes off Sarvjit Ludda. And that's the kind of celebrations you would have facing him. It's taken 7 deliveries, and now we get a run from Brian Gale.
Is this economy sustainable? I wouldn't bet against Sarvjit Ludda at this ground doing something remarkable.
Now Kevin Stout, he's been off strike for quite some time. What does he have in store? He'll get off the mark from Ludda straight away. And so again, with Ludda, the key here is you can't let him just go about his business, right? You can't let him bowl, defend, bowl, defend, bowl, defend. The moment you start to score runs that's when you can almost just create doubt in the leg spinner. They have to change what they're trying to do, and that's where you see the mistakes come in.
Yeah, I think it might be maybe a little bit too late.
Cleaned him up. The zings didn't light up, but he's gone straight through, trying to make some room, and just opened up his stumps. And Sarvjit Ludda, he's done the job. He's given up 2 runs, but he's taken his first wicket in his second over.
Just carving up Brian Gale here. See him stepping away, trying to create space, but my, that got in there too quick for him, it looked like.
Well, Sarvjit Ludda, take a bow. Welcome back to Church Street Park. Gale's got to go 7 off of 11. It's 54 for 3. Let's just have a second look at this wicket here from Sarvjit Ludda. See the movement being made there. It comes back, and I think what Gale was trying to do, it seems like he just misses straight up, was trying to force Ludda to follow him. Ludda did not oblige, just bowled his stock ball, and was just well out of his reach.
That was dangerous with the way that he was playing, that Ludda was turning the ball today. I think exposing yourself first of all, but also if his idea was to go to the leg side and then he changed his mind at the last second, even if he got his bat on it, that could have gone right onto the stumps.
Well, Mario Ramprasad is the new man. His first time with the bat in 2024. He'll get a single straight away with a slip in place, and really feels like playing any shot to Sarvjit Ludda is pretty dangerous, you know, with the way he's able to bowl and go about his business. But this was just felt real. This felt a shot that came from pressure, right? He'd just been playing so many dot balls. He was trying to force something somewhere, and decided his best option was to use his feet to move away.
Yeah, I think sometimes Ludda's bowling so well, you're damned if you do and if you don't.
And again, you can just see he's hitting the right areas, and we talked about it. You've got to find ways to just get singles, not let him just bowl his deliveries. He's such a rhythm bowler. When he's in a good headspace and just able to get through the ball, there's really no better sign, and there's no way you're going to mess him up then.
A little surprised that Stout didn't go for that double. That Mario Rampersad seemed to want to, and I think that was there to get. And Stout turned it down. He wanted to strike.
Turned it down and played out 2 dots. 9 overs gone, a wicket in the over. 55 for 3. Daron Davis has the ball in his hand, and he'll be starting off to the left-handed Mario Rampersad. Nate, this is your man here.
Oh yeah, you know I love left arm orthodox spinners. First of all, I love good fielders. Second of all, you know he checks off both of those boxes. He's an all-rounder.
Nicely played into the offside. Nate, what you're saying to me is that he's the complete package. He checks all the boxes you're looking for in a cricketer here in the States.
Yeah, and I think he plays really well in the big moments. He's up for it. But really, it's the acrobatic catches. He's got the Ravindra quality about himself.
Here you go.
Jadeja. That's the Ravindra I'm talking about.
No, we got it, Nate. Don't worry. We said the fielding, and I don't think anyone's confusing that with Ravindra Jadeja. Jadu is known around the world. Lucks out. Really does luck out to only have 1 run against his name for that one. That was a real drag down, and really a couple inches left or right would have gone straight to the boundary.
So we've seen good contact on the first delivery by Rampersad, who I think is going to play a key role here being left-handed against this spin attack. We saw good contact from him, and then we saw the batter do just about almost exactly what he wanted to do there and nearly get 4. So that's 2 balls right off. These are the 2 best played balls in a while, I think, for the Fort Lauderdale team.
And the beautiful part for me about Baltimore and the way this team is set up, it almost forces you to take on Daron Davis, right? Sarbjeet led the ball so well that you can't score off of him. Okay, we've got to score off of Daron Davis. And, you know, in the first couple of games when Mohamed Mohsin was there, we have to score off Mohamed Mohsin. And it's such a daunting task, and I think that's why you get away with deliveries like that, because they're trying so hard to try to score that they're not in the right position. Their feet are offline. Their hands aren't getting through where they need to. They almost feel surprised to get a ball they can hit.
And if this continues, we might see a big wicket-taking season from Davis if teams always feel like they have to take him on because he's too good.
Oh, smart there from Rampersad. He's finding gaps so far, and Mario, he's, you know, one of those classy bats. He idolized Kumar Sangakkara as a kid, and you can almost see it there at that first ball. We saw the luscious cover drive come out, and he's someone who, you know, he's played in a couple of teams now. He's played up in Philly in the East and now down south, you know, enjoying himself with the Lions.
Very good keeper. We saw him yesterday, moving around very quick hands, quick feet, good keeper. He's had a great season, too, domestically in other leagues with the bat.
Nearly chopped on. It just came off the inside half and got onto the pads as well. Kevin Stout, who was comfortable getting singles yesterday, has so far not found any real rhythm.
Yeah, singles would be a step up right now. They definitely want to keep that scoreboard going.
In the air for a moment, but it'll just be 1 into the onside. And again, right now, that's all that they can find. But for those of you at home thinking, man, this is going to be a game that's won quite handily by the Baltimore Royals, I wouldn't call it yet. Don't raise the white flags, because this is what we saw from the Fort Lauderdale Lions yesterday, a real period where you felt, man, they've got to go, and then they got that one big over, and it changed the whole complexion of the game.
And we saw the same thing from the Raptors in the chase. We see it so often. A good power play that grinds to a halt in just a few overs. Smart
batting here from Rampersad. They could push 2. They're going to look for it. Could be trouble. won't be trouble in the end, but that's good intent. When your boundaries aren't flowing, you got to find runs in other facets. So pick up 2 to close out the 10th over, and at the halfway stage, it's 61 for 3. Young pace, but maybe not the young pace we were expecting. I think we both thought Aryan Butler would be the man to come in first, but it'll be a man making his debut for the Baltimore Royals that we'll get to see for the very first time here today. It's going to be Aryan Badupalli with the ball in hand, the right arm seamer. And the young man will get an opportunity to roll his arm, and a real good opportunity for him to get experience, kind of the situation in the game where the Lions are starting to rebuild and really struggling with the bat. Not a bad idea to get him in over.
Absolutely. We love seeing the young players make their debuts.
Starts off with a Yorker straight away. You can see it. There's a good wrist position back into the right-hander, so everything is going to come back in. So something of note for Kevin Stout. And if you're the Fort Lauderdale Lions, this is the over to take advantage of, right? It is the youngster. He's the one that, for whether fair or unfair, you have to take on. And with that seam position, wouldn't mind him moving across his stumps, trying to access fine leg. There's a deep fielder out there. Short, wide, punished. It'll run towards the boundary for 4. Welcome to minor league cricket.
Yeah, the Lions will wanna keep this batter on strike and let Mario take on the spinners, because he's looked pretty solid against the spinners. But right now, they're trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah, not a real good delivery that from Bodupalli. He's gonna want to find his length. That's too easy at any level, especially at this one when you're gunning a stage up. Gotta pitch it up. Full over the top of the infield. It'll be back-to-back boundaries. And nearly went straight to that cover fielder, but not a welcome start for the young man.
Just too full there, and on that particular line, you can't miss that full, and you can't overpitch it. You gotta nail that Yorker.
Yeah, again, just got well too full, an overcorrection.
Yeah.
And enough bat on him from Kevin Stout. He's too quality of a batter to miss out on something like that. So where does the young man go? He's been too short. He's been too full. How does he respond? Short again. This time pulled. He's hit another gap as the fielder will get around to it and just be 2 runs there. We'll feel a touch fortunate there, Badupalli, and again, it's just a new feeling for him. It's a new place to be. He's played in the MLC Junior Championships, taking 24 wickets across 17 innings at a, listen to this, Nate, a 3.98 economy. So this promotion is well deserved, but he's just having tough luck to start things off.
And that's the MLC Junior paying off here, producing players for minor league cricket.
A beautiful pathway system, and again, that's the development process we talk about in the States. Real half volley, just hit straight to that cover fielder. But we speak about that development process. Not only is minor league that kind of jumping structure for major league, but for a lot of young talent, their jumping point, the way they look at is minor league cricket, getting into their local minor league side. And you do that through those USA Pathway events and the minor league junior events. A lot of these events going on. It's a great way for these youngsters to make names for themselves.
There's some good young players in Maryland too, where Buttapalli's played a lot of his cricket, and I believe in Northern Virginia as well.
Carved away. It was just getting too full here. It'll end up being 4 runs out in the deep, but this is the over that the Fort Lauderdale Lions needed.
Yeah, you had 10 off of the first 5, and this particular ball was going to kind of decide if this was a decent over from the youngster or a bad one. It was not so great, but everyone has a start.
There you go. A start to forget for Buttapalli. 11 overs gone, 75 for 3. Daron Davis, and Nate, you called for it. Mario Ramprasad has been the one to play the spinners well so far. He's on strike. Soft hands will get a single. This is important. This is the way the innings needs to flow, especially after that big over. This is the way to get yourself back in the game.
With Stout scoring so well in the last over, he's going to feel like he's in the game now. He's going to feel like he can flow a little bit more freely and put the runs on. This is a very important part of the game right now. I think everybody senses it. His next few overs are going to be crucial.
Hit the pads. I think it's hit outside leg stump, but this is the kind of pressure bowling Stout, even with those boundaries, you can tell it's not off of great bowling. He's not going to give him and fill him with a lot of confidence.
Let's take a look here at the replay. Yeah, I think that's a great call by Alvin. Good job. That was going down the leg, but we saw that arm ball there.
This time closer to stumps, and there's the fielding. The athleticism from Daron Davis that Nate Hayes has come to love.
You're not getting any extra runs his way. I don't care where he is in the field. You're not getting anything easy or extra. You gotta be careful.
In the air, away from the fielder. It'll race towards the boundary. Don't know if it'll have the legs. No, Zaid Alam will cut it off, and running there from Mario Ramprasad to come back for a third. He pushed Kevin Stout on for that one. Daron Davis not happy, but it'll end up being 3 runs. Good from the Lions here.
Excellent, and Mario obviously wants that strike, and it looks like going for 3, it gives you 3 runs, but it also brings Mario Ramprasad back on strike, who's done very, very well against the spinners right now. You don't need to go huge against spinners at this point in the game. Just get the scoreboard ticking.
Little nudge, no run on offer there. Good work. No, it will be. The youngster not having himself a great day. Expensive with the ball, and gives up a run there in the field.
And with the grass here, the ball moves well on the surface, especially the first innings. There's not any dew on the ground right now, and we have that 1% grade. The ball gets away from you in the field just a little bit, you can take that single.
And Mario Ramprasad, he's just so quick, isn't he? He's so attentive. That one just comes straight off the pads. It'll be leg bys, but Ramprasad saw it early, got it quick, and even an over where nothing really felt convincing, still ends up being decent for the Lions. They get 6 runs from it. 12 gone, 81 for 3. You see umpire there saying where the ball is coming from. It is going to be right on over the wicket in the form of Sarbjit Ladda. He's been so brilliant already today in his first 2 overs. First one was a maiden. He's got a wicket to his name as well. And now a little conversation from the umpire. Figuring things out and just checking that field. And he'll be back in with the ball in hand. No run on offer. Kevin Stout has not found any real rhythm batting against any spinner, especially not Sarbjit Ladda.
This is a little bit of a difficult time period to bat because you have stripes of light going across the wicket right now based on the position of the sun casting shadows through the trees. It's not easy.
Turn there, and you can see Kevin Stout, he's just frustrated. It's a sign of a man that little waiting game after the played shot. He's just not finding any rhythm, and he's just trying to swing his way out of a little bit of a rut at the moment.
Watch how this ball goes right in the shadows. Watch. Boom.
Hit into the air, cries of catch it, and easily taken out on the rope. A painstaking stay in the middle comes to an end as Kevin Stout, he'll have to go.
And surprisingly, in the 3rd over, Ladda takes only his first wicket. He's bowled incredibly, actually, sorry, his 2nd wicket. He has taken 2 wickets today. Tremendous from Ladda. We always see him perform well here, but yes, Kevin Stout was poised, I think, in his own mind at least, to carry the team through. And now they're going to have to make way for the next batter.
21 is what Kevin Stout goes for. It's 81 for 4. Well, we have Mario Ramprasad in the middle, and now joining him is going to be Ravindra Prasad, who had a decent stay in the middle yesterday, but task gets difficult with Sarbjit Ladda bowling in the shadows.
And Prasad also impressing with the ball yesterday. That was when we knew that the wicket would turn a lot in the 2nd innings. When he first came in to bowl, we were surprised what he was able to pull off. Ooh.
Googly first up. It's often the signs from Ladda. He takes a wicket and he's very, very aggressive on the next ball. He seems to always be eyeing the hat trick, Nate.
Absolutely. He's always trying to get wickets. He's always going for the wicket. But I don't feel. I mean, I feel pretty bad for the batters right now. Watch when the ball comes out of his hands. It's in the sun, and then boom, it just disappears.
Straight up, and just falls away from 3rd man. Really, Hadmalik didn't know where it went. I don't think anyone really knew where it went. And this is also attentive running for Mario Ramprasad to find a way to pick up a couple more runs there. I think they ended up getting 3 on that. This is the 2nd time they've done that, and that's just brilliant.
We had 1 3 yesterday. We have 2 already in the 1st innings today. That looked like Batar out there making that diving effort.
Yeah, seemed to have just lost the ball maybe in the sun, or maybe expected the keeper to be the one to get it. You would have to say from where he's stationed, it really would have been the simplest of catches had he gone off the mark, hot or maybe just on time.
No telling if Malik could have caught it. He couldn't find it.
Through the covers, an area of liking for Ramprasad, but just 1 run on offer to close out. Another good over for Sarbjit Ladda. He's only given up those 7 runs. He's taken 2 wickets as well. 13 gone, 85 for 4. Daron Davis has got ball in hand.
We had some heroic efforts from the staff of Baltimore Royals to make sure that Lauda got back on the ground.
No run on offer. Yeah, again, we've just seen a couple of injuries from the Baltimore Royals, and something they got to keep an eye on. Again, there's a couple men short. No Malhotra, no Mosen. Now we've already seen the captain, Ravinder Singh, as this outside edge is racing towards the boundary. A lot of work to be done, and on this quick outfield, just forget about it. It ended up being 4 runs and an edgy way to get him, but 4 nonetheless.
Well, that's a lucky way to get those runs, but you'll take them.
It comes with the intent also there, Nate, right? Luck plays a factor, but Ramprasad is almost buying his own luck. You can see his intent is to play deep through covers, and fortunate enough, fortune favors the bold, they say.
And he's having a great innings right now. Key to surviving this very difficult spin session.
And again, it's the intent on the crease that I see. He sees a vacant mid-wicket, so what is he doing? He's moving across his stumps. He's looking to angle it in and is forcing Davis off his line. Another dab down, no run that time.
I might be wrong, but I believe that down in Florida this summer, I believe Ramprasad had a weekend, I think it was Florida, where in the same weekend, I believe he had 3 centuries.
Wow.
He's on it.
Look how active he is on the crease there. He moved away, came back to his position, then moved all the way across. We'll only find 1, but again, it just forces the bowler to have to think. They can't just run in and bowl.
It's a batter who's in the moment right now, I think. His ability to move around, have confidence in his skills.
Now for Ravinder Prasad, what does he do? He's had the brunt end of Sarbjit Ladda. How does he find a way to find runs? Has 3, and really those 3 should be on Mario Ramprasad's name. Finds the onside, gets 1. Ramprasad wants 2. Could be close. Direct hit might have been, but this is again intent from Mario Ramprasad. He's pushing the fielders, and it caused a wayward throw. 14 gone, 92 for 4.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Sarbjit Ladda, he's picked up a little bit of an injury, but he's come back and he's bowling well. The injury on the left hand, so he can keep himself going. He's taken 2 wickets, given up 7 runs, and he's got 1 over left in his illustrious spell. Carved nicely. We'll find 1 Ramprasad. I think he was disappointed with Prasad at the other end and his intent between the wickets.
Yeah, we saw at the break, we saw a little discussion between Lauda and Tarek Janapareddy, the umpire. And I think it was a little bit of a question about whether he could continue his spell on the trot as he has.
Straight up, big cry of catch. And Aryan Batra makes it look very, very simple. And Sarbjit Ladda's picked up wicket number 3 here in his 4th over, and he's made life so difficult for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Once again, another big innings here from Sarbjit Ladda at Church Street Park. He is worth the price of admission here. Look at this.
Gotcha. Prasad has to go. His quick stay at the middle comes to an end. 5 off just 4. It's 93 for 5. Well, Sarbjit Ladda, he's picked up an injury and he's still picking up wickets. There'll be Mohib Siddiqui, who is a leggy in his own right, so we'll see him later with the ball, but he's got the bat in hand, and Ladda's eyeing a fifer. You already know what he's looking at. I expect the googly straight up, Nate.
He's got 4 balls left. He only needs 2 wickets for a fifer. He's got to be loving his odds the way that he thinks.
And you can see the field here. He's opened up mid-wicket. That mid-wicket fielder's come very straight, so he's daring Siddiqui to turn his wrists and open up those stumps. Googly, it was in the air for a moment. And they'll come back for 2, scamper on home. Actually had to be pretty quick in the end, but again, it's very aggressive there from Sarbjit Ladda.
If you want to run, this is a good partner here. Mario Rampersad, if you want to run for 2, he's happy to do it.
Yeah, and again, it's what they've needed. They haven't found many boundaries except off that 1 over from the youngster, but everything else has been hard to come by. But when you buy those 3s, you buy 2s, you can just keep the game flowing in your direction. They're going to close the 15th over, and they'll be roughly around 100. A good platform for them in the last 5. It's in the air. Finger hasn't gone up yet. Tariq has said no. He's very clearly said no. I can't believe it. Sarbjit Ladda thought so. Daron Davis and the entire infield has got his hands on his head. And it almost looked like Siddiqui was going to walk and then saw Tariq not give it out. And Sarbjit Ladda can't quite believe it. Here's a second look.
This is not an easy call. This is definitely not easy. Let's see where it goes. It looks like he got his glove on it and whacked it right into Davis's hands there.
I reckon it's glove on there. Again, the umpire's got the best angle, but we reckon there's a little bit of glove. Quick single, and they'll get it in the end as well. Unfortunate there for Sarbjit Ladda. Daron Davis. Again, you saw the entire infield light up. For me, it was Siddiqui was walking off straight away and then just turned back, said, let me have a think here.
Yeah.
Umpire hasn't given the finger, and at that point, he's decided to stick around.
Well, you saw his hands were a good distance away from his body when there was some contact made. It was a strange one, that's for sure. I don't envy the position of the umpires.
Hit over cover.
6
hit
runs.
well enough. Brilliant there from Mario Rampersad. He's used his feet quite well throughout his innings, and this time he'll pick up 6 over his favorite area. Extra cover.
And here we go, as we mentioned, Mario is feeling comfortable and he's moving his feet a lot, which you have to do. You have to take him on. You have to take Ladda on, and that's the last ball of Ladda's spell. Everybody will be happy to see his back. He might come out here and get his hand worked on again.
Well, there you go. 4 overs for Ladda, 17 runs, 3 wickets. He thought there should have been a 4th. 102 for 5 after 15. Beautiful sunsets here at Church Street Park. This one's hit into the onside. It's Daron Davis to finish off his 4 overs here.
Bringing Mario on strike. His last ball was a 6. 20 from 14. This is good productivity here for Mario.
Soft hands, and they'll find themselves a single. It's been good intent so far for Mario Rampersad. Again, he's bought his own luck. He's used his feet well, moved around the crease. He's been the real star batter for me for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Yeah, this is one of the better innings he's had here.
Siddiqui maybe getting some inspiration from Rampersad. They're going to come back for 2. Good aggressive running, caused a wayward throw as well. This is what's needed in the last 5 here.
Going to have to get whatever they can right now and strike when the iron gets hot. And we'll see what the rest of the bowling attack is going to look like. But you can see there the sun behind the trees.
Beautiful. Gotta love Church Street Park. Want to give you a quick update on Sarbjeet Ludda. He just walked over here to get some water, as this one's picked up into the onside. We'll give you that update later, because that's going to be 4 runs for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Good shot there by Siddiqui, who's starting to heat up as well. And the lefties, the 2 lefties in the middle right now, really big for Fort Lauderdale Lions. It's huge that they have this going on right now in the middle of this spell.
It's the movement across the crease that made that possible. He stepped all the way across his off stump. He's opened up that region because it was mid-wicket, not backward square. He picked a gap. Backward square is now in place for that shot. Pushes it to fine leg, gets through fine leg as well, and it'll run for 4. This is smart, intensive batting from Siddiqui and the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and they're picking apart Daron Davis at the moment.
And how did Daron there try to counter what he saw in the last ball? It looked like he went a little bit more full. You can see here, but the batter stays way back in his crease.
Yeah, maybe a misfield there. It's a youngster not having himself a day to remember in what is his minor league debut. Again, really probably should have been stopped. And like you mentioned, once she gets past one fielder, it's a race out into the outfield that the ball usually does win. 2 boundaries from the previous 2 deliveries. This should be out. Oh my God, unable to collect it. I think it's caught Ahad Malik on the finger. You can see him take the glove off straight away. The injuries are piling up for the Baltimore Royals. It'll close out the 16th over, 115 for 5.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Beautiful sunset here at Church Street Park with the lights. These brilliant pictures brought to you by our camera crew. That's Junaid on camera right now, giving you that brilliant picture. Our entire production crew with Hyro, headed by Babar Beg. Aster Media has been just an absolute blast to work with and for. I want to talk about the Baltimore Royals and the injuries they're seeming to pick up. Sarbjeet Ludda, we thought the injury was to his non-bowling arm. It's the bowling hand. It's the webbing at his thumb. He came behind me just a little bit ago, and the webbing in his fingers completely opened up. That's a big deal. We've seen the captain, Ravinder Singh, with his fingers taped together. And Ahad Malik, he's back on there now, but he took a blow to the finger as well. So these are things that are starting to cascade upon themselves, and something to watch for the Royals as Alam comes back into the attack.
Yeah, that's tricky. If you thought Lada's spell was impressive as it was, you know, he did that before his 3rd over of bowling, so he had only bowled half of his spell. Took 2 wickets after he split the web on his hand.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Again, it's the fight, it's the determination, it's what it means here in minor league cricket. It just, means more, it seems. First signs of pace on the ball in quite some time since the youngster was bowling. And again, this is Zaid Alam, who's really come alive for the Baltimore Royals. He's been such a difference maker for me in that pace attack. And he started at this end, bowled quite well. Ball was swinging in, and Chandrapal did pick him for some runs. But back on this end to these 2 bowlers, you got to like what he's going to bring.
Yeah, two lefties for him to go after.
Again, the intent from the Lions is good. I like this from both Rampersad and Siddiqui. Siddiqui on this occasion, again, moved toward the off stump. He's forcing Alam to think when he bowls. And the one thing as a bowler you want to have a clear mind when you run in. You can just create doubt, and that's where you can get the fuller one, the one that's too short, the one that's too straight, maybe too wide, and score runs that way.
Oh, right. You have to have that intent, especially this part of the game in the 17th over, 116 for 5 Fort Lauderdale. They're gonna want, like we said before, they want to get over that 150 mark. They're definitely gonna want to do that today against a really potent Baltimore Royals batting team.
Yeah, again, this batting without Jaskar Malhotra and what seems to be without Ravi Inder Singh is still very, very dangerous. Obis Panar, Tyrone Davis, Ahad Malik, Sharad Lumba. This one just run to third man. They'll pick up one at short third. But again, very deep bowling lineup, and I just feel that maybe this intent came a couple overs too late from the Lions. Do you agree with that, or do you think because it's Ludda, you just want to be respectable about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to blame anybody for trying to play Ludda out.
Sure.
Especially as good as he was looking. And also, as I mentioned before, I harped on it quite a bit, the fact that the wicket was split as far as shadow and
Right.
light. It's not easy to bat in those situations. Ooh.
Massive. That's a meaty boundary. It's 6 over cow corner and a much needed one for Siddiqui and the Lions.
He absolutely ripped that. Got every piece of that one. Great shot in. Look, here we go. You're going to see the replay. He just picked it up right away. Cleared his leg.
He was searching for that bit of width, wasn't he? And Alam hasn't been giving him much. This time, pace on the ball, width on offer. Siddiqui cleared that front leg, as you mentioned, freed the arms. So
got some hips into it. That's where you're going to get your big shots.
yeah, and again, the key for Alam, if he does get wide, he wants to slow it down. If you can afford to be pace on when you're straighter, but if you do push it a little bit, slow that delivery down. Make him generate his own power. Like that. That was the slower one that came out. And just one down the ground.
And these games matter an awful lot. For anybody who wonders the connection between Major League and minor league cricket, we talked before about minor league junior and how that's producing minor league players now. We're seeing them showing up in minor league cricket, making their debuts. But as I mentioned before about Tyrone Davis, had a great season in the East last season, got drafted into Major League Cricket pretty high.
Over covers. Fielder is there. And he's taking it as well. Well done. Out there in the deep. Puts the hands up, but a good stay in the middle comes to an end for Mario Ramprasad.
And we mentioned how well his innings has gone today. He's definitely going to be upset that he didn't finish it out. But he did help them weather that storm, and 5 wickets on the board now instead of, it could have been a lot worse.
Well, there you go. That'll close out a good innings from Ramprasad. 22 off of 17. It's 124 for 6. Clinton Pastano now will start at the non-strikers end in this new over as Jaskran Buttar will come in with the ball in hand. He was so good, especially to the left-handers, Nate.
Yeah, and we saw how good Pastano was yesterday with the ball as well. Pastano's impressed me a lot. I'm really looking forward to this matchup here because he did well in most aspects of the game yesterday. And Buttar, nice to see that he didn't hurt himself when he dove for that ball out there, but the way that the luck of the Royals has gone today, he could have easily done that. But here we go. This is going to be, I think, one of the matchups here that's going to define this game.
Yeah, again, he'll start with Siddiqui on strike. And again, he bowls a heavy ball and he bowls the odd fuller length delivery. It's kind of perfect for these death overs if you can bowl a heavy ball on a length and dare batters to hit you. clipped off the pads. Calls for 2, and they'll just take the 1. So here's the matchup you wanted. It's Pestano, and it's Buttar.
And that last ball maybe a little fuller for that line than we've seen from Buttar in his first spell of the game. Usually, as we mentioned before, when he was going fuller, he was swinging it more. Well, we're later in the game now. The swing is kind of out of the question.
He's got a right-hander now, and Pestano, originally from Guyana, and he's someone who just possesses a lot of experience. That's what you would say about this team. He's played for the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the CPL, and has been representing Guyana really since he was part of the under-19 cycle, and then made it up to his nation there. So we'll see what he can offer with the bat, the 31-year-old.
And what is it you feel in the air right now, Aman? It's cooling down, right, here at Church Street Park. It cools down a little earlier this time of year. The dew comes in a little earlier, too.
Short, pulled away, and that dew factor is something to watch for. We heard Ravinder Singh talk about it. He says, we saw yesterday there was dew on the ground, so something to help the batters. And as you mentioned, it is predominantly cooler than it was just, maybe an hour ago, maybe 20 minutes ago. Way cooler than it was. A slight breeze coming in as the sun is setting behind the trees. The lights are up. So, again, it's why we've been curious about the decision to bat first on back-to-back days from the Lions.
74 degrees now Fahrenheit.
Push straight to cover. Well stopped there. It's Obis Pinar, who's probably saved a boundary with that one. He picked the slower one and really grabbed onto it.
Held to a single there. We saw him with a run out earlier, Obis. It may have informed the batters here, the runners, to stick to a single. And also it gives Pestano strike again against Buttar, which I think is preferred right now.
Yeah, again, I'm just curious to see how long Pestano takes to get it and what's his mindset. We're in the 18th over. Doesn't have a lot of time with 4 wickets in hand. He's got to measure it. Tick for 1. It's a good way to attack Buttar. He doesn't feel like the bowler you can hit straight away, doesn't he, Nate? Because that heavy ball you mentioned earlier, it's hard to get under him and hit him with such power.
Yes, and especially right now we have the lefty batting against him, and with the leg side being the far boundary for the batter from this end. But my goodness, it is a beautiful night here at Church Street Park. Come out if you're watching, if you're in the area. We're in the mid 70s. Who'd have thought that a couple of months ago in Major League Cricket?
Short and helped over to Fine Leg, who's out there in the deep. Just be 1 run to close out what's been a good over for the Baltimore Orioles. Actually, there'll be another delivery, and what I like about that there from Buttar, he's recognized what he's done earlier in the game. He's seen that he's been back of a length with an extra bounce. So what he's had is Fine Leg deep for the left-hander. Not going to let Siddiqui, who's looked to be active on his crease, the opportunity to scoop him over the top. That's smart bowling. That's understanding your type of bowling, what you're getting on the surface, and reacting accordingly. Would have been a terrific take. It's gone over the top. It'll be 4 runs. I think a little bit of glove helped that one get through, but an edgy way to get a boundary, you'll take it nonetheless if you're the Lions.
Yeah, nice effort here by Melik. Just gets an edge on it. Oh, man, great effort, great stretch. Like you said, he just did get the tip of his glove on that. It would have been an amazing catch.
That boundary will close out an 18th over. That's 133 for 6. Nate Hayes has been raving about Church Street Park and the atmosphere it has right now, and this is why. This picture on your screen. We're here at the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championships presented by Yash Technologies. Sun setting, lights out. Crowd's starting to trickle in as it cools down. And it'll be Zaid Alam bowling here in the 19th over, starting to Siddiqui. We'll start off with the wide, looking for that wide Yorker. Interesting option there. He's seen Siddiqui hit one over cow corner, trying to free his leg. So what he's opted for is to dare him to hit over the top of covers. I don't love the option only because third man is inside the ring. Any bit of bat, it would fly through. Better there. That's the slower one,
changing
right?
the pace, yeah.
And so that's what you want to do. If you're going to bowl wider, because third man's inside the ring, slow it down. Let him create his own pace.
Changes the angle if you do make contact. If you're not anticipating that slower ball, it's difficult to put it where you want to. We have bowlers in this format who have built their careers on that type of bowling.
Talk about Sarbnath Walker for USA, Nate. Hits him on the pads. That's where you want to be pace on, and he was. Pace on, close to the body, jam him for room. And then, again, this is the experience and the caliber. We've talked about Zaid Alam, the pedigree he comes with. He's played in the Under-19 World Cup for Pakistan. He's lighting up the crowds right now. He's played alongside the likes of Shaheen Shah Afridi, and he's come with that type of experience, learning under the same mentality there. And, again, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, and I mentioned before that this is really a trial. Everybody in minor league cricket wants to make it to Major League Cricket. And this is how you do it. You bowl in these difficult times, and you show your class.
There you go, angled in. Brilliant stuff here. This isn't an exhibition of death bowling. It's really he's taken the page out of the playbook, and he said, this is how you do it right here. He's gone pace on, into the body, on a length, making things difficult for two batters that are looking for that fuller delivery that they can swing their hands through. And this is what I love about Church Street Park. You've got these individuals, and I was speaking to one earlier who came in and asked me, the park's closed, and he stuck around just to watch some cricket. As this one slowed down, hit straight back. Nate, we've seen this time and time again. You get someone to this ground once to watch one game, and they'll just keep coming back and back and back.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to keep coming back? It's just such a pleasant experience. It's comfortable here this time of year. This is a great time of year to be at Church Street Park. But yeah, under the lights, it's a magical place. It looks like a postcard.
That's what minor league cricket is all about, spreading cricket across the USA. You see the flag there on your screen, and again, that's the beauty of minor league. Hit straight down, missed his length finally, and makes him pay. Pestano picks up 4 runs.
Yeah, we talked about Pestano's class, his experience. He's played in the Windies U19 setup. Sorry, he's played for Guyana. My apologies there. Check that out right there. They're going to want to pile these runs on quickly. They don't have too many more opportunities to do that. They got 7 more balls left. 141. This is not a bad spot to be in if you're Fort Lauderdale.
Looking to be inventive. Just finds third man. He'll find one to close out the 19th over. You'll take it if you're the Lions. It's 142 for 6. Edged and gone. Buttar picks up his wicket here in the form of Pestano. And the Fort Lauderdale Lions unable to find runs in this final over.
Well, we said this was going to be an interesting matchup. Something was going to happen. And, of course, Buttar is the winner right here between the two. Pistano will probably try to get his revenge in the next innings, as he bowled quite well yesterday.
Well, Pistano just goes off 11. Really didn't have a choice. Had to play that big swing. It's 142 for 7. It's Vinit Tagarse who's come in with the bat in hand. He's more known for what he does with the ball, but now he's got the bat. What can he provide against Buttar?
Excited to see him in the team. He took a lot of wickets last season. And Alvin says, hey, let's hold up here. We got to address something.
Yeah, I think there's a car out there, and they're just getting that sorted with. And again, brilliant camera work here. You can see the lights just affecting with the vision there. And speaking of vehicles, our camera crew's working very hard here. Look at what they've produced here. There we go. Planes flying by. One of the staples of Church Street Park and what it does. And again, brilliant scenes above. That car has been dealt with, though. Back to the action here at Church Street Park.
Seems to always be the Southwest Plains.
Knocked him over. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there. You see the ball fly to the boundary. And that man there, Buttar, he's done his job. He's been brilliant all day long.
Once again, Buttar showing his class, going full. This time, directly onto the stumps. Tagarse gave him a little bit of space, but it looked like a little bit too much space in hindsight for the full rapid delivery. And he's on hat trick now.
Yeah, there you go. Take a second look at this. It's just too good. Just full, straight, castled in to that stumping. You see the pace as it raced away. Buttar's been brilliant. 142 for 8. Nate Hayes. We've seen it already at Church Street Park before. It was in 2023. It was with the Baltimore Royals bowling with Sarbjit Ludda. But now it's with Buttar, who's come in. He's got an opportunity for a hat trick. He's bowling to Elton Tucker Jr., a promising youngster, and he's got to balance this. Do you give your wicket here with the third ball of the 20th over, or do you look to defend? Do you look to try to score? What is the option? Here we go, setting it up. Edge to the keeper, it bounced to him. He'll get one for his troubles, but you could see it there. Aggressive line from Buttar.
Yeah, aggressive. He's definitely gunning for that hat trick, and why not? But this is a moment in the game right here that it's crucial. Fort Lauderdale is at 143 for 8, trying to get over that 150 mark, no doubt.
This is that hat trick delivery. You can see him. He's looking for that full Yorker. Found the outside edge, but found it straight down. That was the difference.
That ball was angling in. Just didn't carry enough off the bat.
Well, you've got one run from the first 3 deliveries. The Fort Lauderdale Lions were set up and poised to be back at 150. They've got to find runs now. It's got to be Siddiqui. It'll be a wide, gifted, and they'll get one for their troubles as well. That's good running, attentive. And again, the intent from Siddiqui, Nate, that's the key, the movement on the crease.
I think this is a win, though, for the Baltimore Royals. It brings the youngster, Elton Tucker Jr., who's a bowler, brings him to the crease. You would have wanted, I mean, there's not much to lose if you're going at that line and you're the Baltimore Royals. Now you're forcing Tucker, who just edged one, you're forcing him to win the game. There's 3 balls to go.
Here we go, 3 balls to go, and it is Elton Tucker Jr. now on strike. Unable to get bat to ball. Siddiqui wants it. That's good. The intent from Siddiqui's been good since he's come out into the middle. He's picked it up from Mario Rampersad and run away for a bye. He was off the mark so very quickly there, and it could have just been, all right, Elton, you've got to play the last couple. No. We're going to make sure I get back on strike.
And that because of that wide, that turns into basically a 2-run ball. So it didn't work out too badly at the end for Fort Lauderdale, as now Siddiqui takes strike to
really
finish the over.
Yeah, brilliant there. Wide again, and they won't scamper through a single. That's smart, but now Buttar, this is what intent does. Buttar's now thinking, how does he manage what Siddiqui's doing on the crease? He's moved away, he's moved in, he's running everywhere. He's just finding ways to mess with Buttar's line and length.
And they've managed to somehow put together 4 runs since the 2 wickets, since opening up with 2 wickets.
5 runs, Nate, with
Sorry,
that wide.
5 runs.
And they were able to scamper through that single, but there you go. It's been brilliant what they've been able to do. Not the typical way you score your runs in the final over, but runs are runs. Swing and a miss, and no run on offer there. That's better from Buttar. That's the area you want to be at. Back of a length, close to the body. Haven't been able to score much from there. And Buttar just got to hit his line on length one more time. And you can see Elton Tucker going. I think the conversation right here is, hey, we're running.
Yeah, I think they got to run. If you're Baltimore, what do you do? Do you do the dirty thing? Do you go for the Mankade here because you know they're going to take off? I mean, I don't think we're going to see that, but it's got to be in, it's in the playbook somewhere, right?
It's in the rule book. We'll see if they elect for it. Again, Elton Tucker Jr. is going to get off. Hits Siddiqui straight. That's the definition of brilliant death bowling, and they'll just get 1 run from that final delivery and hold the Fort Lauderdale Lions under 150. It's been brilliant under the lights from the Baltimore Royals, and you take a look at what we've seen from the Lions. They had a couple of decent starts. You thought Dutton Chanderpaul was going to be really good with the way he got off, but slowed down. Another little cameo from Raja. Wicket started to go, but for me, it was Mario Rampersad's 22 off 17 and Mohib Siddiqui's 27 off 20. That was the difference in a 100 score and a 150 score.
Absolutely. It was the lefties that put their hands up for Baltimore. And with the ball, how good was Lada, even with the injury? He took 3 wickets. Buttar, he was a revelation. He's a great debut for this team.
Yeah, again, adding to that pace attack, Zaid Alam was brilliant as always. 37 runs in the wicket, and we saw 3 wickets to Buttar, you mentioned, and for Daron Davis, not wicket taking, but 31 runs in his 4 overs, and the young man Aryan Bodapalli unable to really make a mark. 1 over 14 runs. Well, that is all she wrote in this first innings, as the Baltimore Royals will be happy with their work. But as you know, Church Street on the lights is always close, and when we return, the Baltimore Royals don't need 149 runs to claim victory. Swing straight away. You see it coming back in the Chanderpaul line 2 straight. So first runs courtesy of an extra. This time we'll pick the gap with Chanderpaul. Maybe just a fractionally too full from Alam, and it'll end up 4 runs. Yep. Helped off the pads. It'll beat the fielder inside the ring, and it'll beat the fielder out in the deep as well. So first ball, first boundary for Isaiah Raja. Now here in minor league. Brilliant. Dajnaran Chanderpaul has picked up Lumba, and he's taken him all the way down the ground for 6.
And that's a lost ball. That bounced right into...
Well, there you go. He obliges this time. It's Isaiah Raja who skipped down the track, and he sent a huge 6 to where the VIP tent. In the air. Goes away from the fielder, and it'll run all the way to the boundary. Maybe not the most convincing stroke from Raja, but safe with the fielders inside the rings. And calls for 2. Gonna have to test the arm of Obis Pinar. Looks good and is given. Obis Pinar on the deep. Fired it in quick, and the captain cleaned him up. The zings didn't light up, but he's gone straight through, trying to make some room. and just opened up his stumps, and Sarjeet Ladda, he's short, wide, punished. It'll run towards the boundary for 4. Welcome to minor league. Full over the top of the infield. It'll be back-to-back boundaries, and nearly went straight to that cover fielder, but carved away. It was just getting too full here. It'll end up being 4 runs out in the deep, but this is the over.
Ball goes right in the shadows. Watch. Boom.
Hit into the air. Cries of catch it, and easily taken out on the rope. A painstaking stay in the middle. The captain, Ravinder Singh, as this outside edge is racing towards the boundary. A lot of work to be done, and on this quick outfield, just forget about it. It'll end up being 4 runs and an edgy way to get him. Straight up, big cry of catch. And Aryan Batra makes it look very simple. Hit over cover.
6
and hit
runs.
well enough. Brilliant there. Over here to get some water, as this one's picked up into the onside. We'll give you that update later, because that's going to be 4 runs for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Pushes it to fine leg, gets through fine leg as well, and it'll run for 4. This is smart, intensive batting from Siddiqui, and the 4.
Ooh.
Massive. That's a meaty boundary. It's 6 over cow corner, and a much needed 1 for over covers. Fielder is there, and he's taking it as well. Well done. Would have been a terrific take. It's gone over the top. It'll be 4 runs. I think a little bit of glove help of minor league. Hit straight down. Missed his length finally, and makes him pay. Pestano picks up 4 runs.
So, I don't know. How do you
Edged and gone. Buttar picks up his wicket here in the form of Pestano.
West Plains.
Knocked him over. Brilliant stuff there. You see the ball fly to the boundary, and that.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
Welcome back to Church Street Park. You can see the sun is fully set. It's now night, and the Baltimore Royals will need 148 to go ahead and win today's game against the Fort Lauderdale Lions. And they're going to rely heavily on Obis Pinar, and he's going to open the batting here today. I just want you guys to know about Obis Pinar. Nate, you know quite a bit about him, and he's someone who's been promoted into that opening position because of injuries to Jaskar Malhotra. And Nate, there's not enough to say about him. This is some of his major league highlights I want you to just take a look at, because he's just phenomenal.
See, when they leave it short, he's going to pull it like this. And Aman, you're about to see your favorite shot that he does.
Yeah, it's his ability to move outside his crease. His movement on the crease sets him apart. He does it to both pace and spin. And what he's doing is he's opening up his offside to hit through covers. But because he's so tall and long, he's able to get it, even if you push it out wide, to the wide line and hit them from there. And then if you follow him, he's able to play those pull shots, play those big sweeps and big shots into the onside. So that's the beauty of him. And on this team, traditionally wasn't going to open. But with Jaskar Malhotra going down, they've looked at him as the man that they want.
And how many times have we seen him play that short ball to the offside here at Church Street Park with the Raptors in the past?
And it's because the ball's not going to climb. He's very tall. He's 6'4". It's very tough to get the short ball to climb up on him. So very rarely is he rushed. He's going to be batting aside Ahad Malik, who's one of the better runners in the league. And Pestano, the man you're impressed with, has ball one. Swing early on.
Inside the wide line, great delivery, good ball. No offer at all from Obis Pinar.
It's a new challenge for him, isn't it? He would have seen swing bowling, but Pestano brings a new challenge for him in minor league cricket. Typically when Obis gets in, it's later on in the innings. He's more of that finisher, likes to bat at the number 5 position, batted at 4 for the Raptors when he was here. But on this team now, when he's opening, he's got the opportunity to play the hard new ball. And I liked it in Atlanta because the ball wasn't going to move a lot. This is where the experiment becomes something to test, right? Because he's going to have to deal with this new ball swing.
Everybody's got that friend that just does everything well. And I think Obis is one of those guys.
Nearly chopped it on. Nate, you might have just talked him into a wicket there. But again, this is the challenge for me with Obis Pinar opening. I would have thought a guy like Sharad Lumba, who's been a top order bat amongst a lot of setups, he's more familiar batting up top the order. This is a situation for him because it is that opening spot. Again, Obis is more than a capable bat. There's no doubt about that. I think the most underrated player in the U.S. But this is just very, very new.
And when you're good at everything like he is, and you can pretty much play everywhere, you don't always get to play where you want to the most. Obis wanted me to keep talking, I think.
There might be some type of vehicle behind the side screen. Again, this is where the parking lot end is. I think there's a headlight that is on behind us, and that's what they're going to want to rectify here.
This is called a Church Street delay, when we have headlights on directly behind the sight screen.
And it looks like the headlights are gone now. So, again, for Pinar, I think he's going to just want to feel bad on ball. That's where he's the most comfortable. Just has to be careful to avoid that fly slip. Can't bowl there. Can't bowl there. That's far too easy. That's where he likes it. Let the ball swing. Make it do something. If you get straight and short to Pinar, it's going to be 4 all day long.
You mentioned his height and his ability to play balls that are shorter. Look at this one. He turned that one into a waist-high shot because of his height. He's able to stay on top of it and play it safely while aggressively.
Yeah, you think about the short balls that were bowled to Trevon Griffith and John Campbell. They were rising them up towards, their rib cage. And with Obis Pinar, you're not going to get that luxury unless you really provide that effort ball. Far too easy for Obis Pinar. That'll be another boundary. Yes, it will. Won't be able to stop that one, the fielder there. Again, it's ball swinging was troubling him, but anything short is going to be put away.
We saw Elton Tucker Jr. almost chase that one down, but yes, anything short. As we showed you in his major league clips, he likes that ball. He likes to put it to that side. Elton Tucker Jr. does a great job, but it can't quite get it to stop rolling to that boundary.
For Pestano now it's time to change your length. I don't know what made him want to get off of that foolish length he had earlier. And still opting to be shorter. Didn't get punished there. It's probably better on a length, but I would still just query him to pitch it up with the amount of swing he's getting, Nate.
I think you have to take full advantage of it right now with the ball's new. You mentioned earlier it's tough to get a true bouncer to Obus unless you bowl it extremely short, in which it's easy to read, or you really put a lot of effort into it. And I think with the ball being hard like this,
better.
ooh,
Better. That's the area. You saw the nip coming in, and that's where you can trouble Obis Pinar. But he's put away 2 boundaries in the first over, 8 without loss.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Gotta love the views at Church Street Park, and what we love about minor league is that we get to play under the lights and really experience Church Street for all that it is. It's, you know, a venue that's really unlike most in the U.S. and rivaled by very, very few. We're gonna see pace on the ball again. We saw spin come in very early from the Royals, but it's Vinit Thegarse who's got the ball in hand. You've mentioned it. You've sung his praises. He's been so good for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. He's got his first chance in 24.
yeah, he was a wicket-taking machine last season for Fort Lauderdale, second in the team with 15.
We'll start with the wide down the onside, but what you've seen from him is the angle in, and he's got a slip in place as well. I'm curious to see how Ahad Malik, though, bats to Thegarse. He was way more aggressive in Atlanta in terms of the shots he played. Was more of a runner here at Church Street Park. He turned everything into 2s. I'm curious to see now that he's back here, does he look to be aggressive with the stroke play, or is he going to be the facilitator, getting 1s, getting 2s?
And we were asking the question where he was going to bat. Of course, now he's opening right now. But yes, he does like to run.
Clipped off the hip. We'll get 1 to Pinar. And now Thegarse will get to deal with the right-hander. Oftentimes, for maybe inexperienced bowlers or, you know, bowlers who haven't played at the highest of levels, you know, Thegarse very class, but sometimes the lefty is a challenging task to bowl to, right? You're not able to bowl freely in your full stuff because you're just not used to bowling to lefties. I think this will be a true sense of what Thegarse is going to bring today.
And we have seen, we talk about how rare a lefty is or how difficult it is to adapt to them because you don't see many of them. We've seen a ton of them the last 2 days. We've seen a lot of left-handed batters. It's a great way to answer questions. It's a great way to cause questions in your opponent is having left-handed batters. We've seen USA have a lot of success with a lot of lefties in their batting order as well, especially against Ireland in 2021 down in Florida.
Yeah, the Raptors and the Fort Lauderdale Lions have 2 lefty opening pairs, and then this Royals team is just lefty after lefty with the odd right-hander thrown into it. So expect the lefties to be batting all day long. Easy pickings for Obis Pinar. It was short, it was wide, and it will run away to the boundary for 4.
There was a shout of catch it, definitely out of desperation there. He nailed that one. The fielder he wasn't anywhere close to that. That was just a well-placed, well-struck, well-timed ball. Vintage Obis Pinar here.
Yeah, placed it well in front of square as well. The pace isn't going to trouble Obis of Thegarse, and if you're going to bowl that length, you've got to be well closer to him. Otherwise, it is going to be a long day for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Whoa.
Better. How much is that nipped back? Obis Pinar had left that, and that's gone right over the top of off stump, very nearly the end of Pinar.
Yeah, there's Mario. He's got his arms stretched out. That's about how much the ball turned by the time it got to the batter. It turned a good foot or so before it crossed the stumps.
And again, this is the transition for Pinar. He left that very early, and that late movement is what caused it. Let's see what Thegarse has. It's a better length from him. Short. Flicked off the pads. There'll be just a couple of runs, maybe just 1. But let's have a second look at that previous delivery if we can. Just look how much this has swung back on Obis Pinar. Again, he's left it early, and it's just evaded the top of off. I mean, that is very close to being one of those signature moments leaving in a test match. And again, Degarce very nearly picked up his first wicket in 2024.
What a crazy ball. And if you're going to turn it that much off the wicket to Obis, you cannot leave it short. He's going to find spots behind to put that ball for runs.
Yeah, better from Degarce. You can see him running in with real rhythm after those first three. He's found his length. He's picked his lines better. And he's such an aggressive bowler. He's such a key bowler in this team. You talk about the 10 innings that he has bowled in minor league cricket. He's taken 15 wickets at an economy just above 7. So he's someone who does so well. He's got a fifer in minor league against the Atlanta Lightning. So he's someone who can turn it on. Hint of movement there. Not timed off the middle of the bat. So we'll get one to close out. Another good over for the Baltimore Royals, 16 without loss. Pestano with the ball in hand. His first over went for plenty, 8 runs, and it was the boundary that Obis Pinar hit. He's now bowling to Ahad Malik. Starts off with a hefty full toss. That's run to third man. I think Malik is going to feel hard done that he wasn't able to get more of a connection on that, but Obis Pinar is now back. Length is so important to Pinar. It's so hard to bowl to him because he's so tall. He turns almost anything into really a half volley, and then if it's short, he's quick to pounce. But you have to be precise here. I think with this stage, with the ball moving this much, Nate, I'd rather miss too full than too short.
Yeah, I think so too, especially if you're going to go towards his body more, or you have to be really neat with your line. Either way.
Better.
There you go.
There you go. Hard length, a little bit of movement in, and from that area, it's hard for Obis early on to decide he's going to pick you up from the get-go. Because there's movement, he's got to watch for it, and that's why you've seen him just play it straight down.
And for a tall batter, one of the problems being tall and being a batter is typically you can find gaps, you can find holes. You're long, it takes you a while to get a little bit longer to get to things and cover up gaps, but Obis does a good job of it.
Picked up beautifully. He was just a fraction short, and Obis Pinar, not rushed by the pace, picks it up and places it over cover for a brilliant boundary.
That ball got to the boundary in a rush too. He timed that beautifully. Hit it with a good part of the bat, but watch this. Here we go. Boom. Look at that. He's up on one leg. That's all timing right there.
And it's him resting on the back foot because he's basically anticipated Pestano's going to be back of a length, and so he's just kind of resting on the back foot waiting for it, and he gets there so fast. He gets his hands to it. Again, for most batters, that's going through points. He's getting that through cover. Slower one, well watched, and gets a single. It's smart there from Obis Pinar. He's hit himself he's hit himself 4. Let me get a quick single, get off the mark.
He does a good job anticipating slower balls. I haven't seen him thrown off by them too many times.
And what those boundaries do, it creates this sense in Fort Lauderdale that they have to be defensive almost. What the Royals did really well with is, even when they gave up boundaries, they're still very aggressive with their bowling. Pestano's got to be aggressive. Bat pad there, and no backhanded throw would have been brilliant if that caught the stumps, hadn't it?
That would have taken everybody by surprise.
But like we mentioned, the aggressive nature of bowling to a batter that is hitting you for runs really goes away. You go into the mindset of slower ones, push it out wide of him, try to, you just are not in the flow of mind where you're like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive looking for his wicket. It's almost as if, how do I stop him from scoring runs? And at that point, you're going to give up plenty of runs.
Well, you got to take wickets in the power play here. You're at a massive advantage if you do, because the innings does slow down in those middle overs.
Gently tucked into the offside. They'll get one to close out the third over. Again, that boundary coming in, it just makes it one to remember for the Baltimore Orioles. 23 without loss. Vinit Tagarse, he's got ball in hand, and again, the Lions have to break this partnership. They can't let these two just continue to walk their way to 149. Big wide, it'll race towards the boundary and end up being 4 runs. He was trying to spot the movement from Ahad Malik and trying to follow him. Instead, all he could do was find the boundary rope.
Yeah, you can't miss here with those. They will go for 4 runs. And, you know, coming into this over, you had 23 without loss, or 24 without loss. That's not a terrible position to be in, but the problem is Obis is capable of turning around a century here at this ground if you don't take him out early on, if you don't get him out of there.
This one straying down the leg side as well. I think it came off the leg, so it won't be deemed wide, but Tagarse's got to find his line here.
Yeah, you got to worry a little bit. You know, you got that lefty-righty, as we talked about before. We've seen a lot of that today. Really keeps the bowlers uncomfortable, especially early on. The ball's moving in the air a little bit. There's dew on the wicket, too. Could be slipping a little bit in his hand.
Big movement there. The inner half of the bat will race down. That dew starting to collect and maybe just held it up a little bit. But Obis Pinar will get himself all back to the non-strikers end as they collect 2 runs.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not your day. That was a great delivery, an excellent delivery. Got 2 runs off it. You know, that could have easily been a wicket ball. It could have been a dot. I think if you do a roulette on that 9 out of 10 times, you're not gonna give up 2 runs.
Probably not the length you're looking for, though. It really ended up as a half volley. You can either go Yorker or pull it back. Big swing, but not given wide there. Umpire said it's moved away from him post passing the batter. Oh no, given in the end. So it looks like Obis Pinar's got enough say on that one.
I think Alvin had already probably determined it and just not signaled it, waiting for the chaos to stop a little bit.
There you go. But Tagarse again getting good movement, just unable to control it.
Moved like crazy. Look at that. Yeah.
Clearly wide. Probably more skill involved on that, but again, just got to find a line and a length here.
That's
Movement
it.
Away. That's good, though. It stayed inside the line that time. Obis doesn't like it, but I think that one has stayed inside the line. Vinit Tagarse can't believe Obis is complaining, and Obis now is having a little bit of a laugh. I think the first one is justified. This one, though, I think he's going to look back and say, probably did sneak just inside.
I think it was a good ball. It looked like a good delivery to me. Where it passed the batter, which is really what matters.
Cries of catch it and taken, brilliantly done in the end. He leaped a highway up into the air, and you know what? Sometimes it is your day. Kevin Stout, take a bow.
Excellent grab there by Stout. How many times do we have to rave about him? As I said before, he's always going to find a way to make a difference in the game, and that was a great catch.
And what the doctor ordered for the Lions Again, swinging in, just trying to clip it away. And all he did was pick out Kevin Stout on what was a really brilliant catch. Had to leap up into the air, to his best Michael Jordan impression on the way through. 6 off 10 for Malik, and the Baltimore Royals are 31 for 1. Sherrod Lumba comes into the middle, and again, he's someone that I thought might have been the opening option, and then they wanted the righty-lefty combination, and with no Ravi in their Singh, moves into this number 3 spot. Very capable bat, really scored brilliantly last weekend, had a high-flying innings of his own, so we'll see what he's able to do now on a wicket that there is movement on, but Nate, this is a good situation for him to walk into.
Yeah, you did call it. You said you thought that we would see him at the top of the order, and we're seeing him 1 down. But yeah, this is a great position right now for Baltimore. And of course, not too late by any stretch of the imagination for Lauderdale to still make an impact here and on their way to potentially winning the game.
Yeah, and Lumba, he did score a half century last weekend against the Atlanta Fire, 52 off 37. And was, again, quite exceptional. Those wickets weren't easy to bat on. Probably the best day of batting we saw down there at the Buttonveers Sports Complex. But for Sherrod Lumba, he's going to, I think, enjoy the pace and bounce on this wicket. The only thing he's got to be mindful of is that swing. And for Degarse, you've taken that wicket. How can you find rhythm now? He says doesn't like it. I think there might be some headlights again back here.
Oh, other end.
No, it's the other end of the ground, sorry. Just anytime the batter points up, I tend to look straight back at the parking lot, but
might have been the airplane, actually.
Possibly could have been. And batters so particular about what's in their peripheral. This one's, I think, came off a little bit of bat. The swing, though, there and present, but Lumba will get off the mark straight away. Looks like he'll pick up 4 runs of his own.
Oh, a couple of unlucky situations there. Degarse missing earlier with 4 byes, and this time it looked like it just did catch a little bit of edge. Did they call it a byes, or they called it off the bat? Yeah, it sounded like it too, and Mario doesn't believe their luck right now.
They called it 4 leg byes, Nate. That's interesting there. So I thought maybe close, but full and straight again, but the length and the line is off. It's just far too straight with that swinging ball, and that's 4 runs to any batter, especially one of Sherrod Lumba's capabilities.
Just helped to the empty boundary there by Lumba. All he had to do, and he knew it, was get a little bit of bat on that. Just steer it, just boom, help it on its way, boom.
And Degarce's going to feel that he's missed the Yorker, but he's just given away that boundary there. So for the wicket, followed up by 8 runs, 4 gone, 39 for 1. Ravindra Prasad. That's brilliantly played from Obis Pinar. Just the simplest back foot punch. We talk about the power game. This is timing, class, and picking gaps.
Yeah. We just saw Obis standing at the other end for 8 balls in that last over because there were a couple of wides. Wonder if he was getting cold, but there's the answer right there. He wasn't getting cold. That was a class shot.
Again, that's straight out the manual, the MCC guide on how to play a back foot punch shot through the covers. He just stood his ground, high elbow. Edged, it's beaten Mario Rampersad. It's running towards that boundary rope. Obis wants 2, and he'll get 2. Not much gets through Ram Prasad, and that time, bit of fortune for the big South African.
Just a little bit unlucky there. The Fort Lauderdale Lions. Obis, of course, deserving the luck the way that he's batting today.
You gotta like what Prasad did though on that delivery. The first one maybe a little bit wider. This one a bit fuller, a bit closer to Pinar's. He looked to just kind of flash his blade, and very nearly resulted in the end of him. Another back foot punch, this time covered though on the ring in the form of Dajnarayan Chandrapal.
Now what happens, Aman, if you go too much at the stumps and a little bit too full to Obis? Ooh.
Well, Prasad's not finding out because that's a brilliant length to be bowling.
That's really good right there.
Spinning off of that area. He's just got to play with soft hands. You could see not trying to throw his hands at it. Really clinical. Picked up and put away. Obis Pinar rocking onto the back foot and hitting Prasad for 6.
Boy, he loves going onto that back foot, doesn't he? But I tell you what, if you do overpitch one to him, he can put it right over the sight screen right ahead of him. But look at this, goes onto his back foot, turns that into a shorter ball. It's impressive for somebody of his height to be able to do that.
And again, we've talked about his movement on the crease. This is his movement to get deeper in his crease. He just pushes his back foot back and then pulls it. Let's see the throw here, young man. Oh, brilliant. Well done. Gets a couple bounces over to the fielder. He's got a big running start from the parking lot, and he's, I think he's maybe a little bit upset he didn't get to keep that souvenir. But going back to Obis Pinar, again, it's just his ability on the crease to get so deep in his crease to turn that ball to a short one or move outside to turn anyone full. Oh, that one might have just hung low. Probably wasn't the one to go back on, but again, Prasad, for going for 12 runs, I think it's unfair that he went for that many. He's had a really good over, but it's just Obis Pinar who's a class above the rest. 5 gone, 51 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, we wondered when Isaiah Raja would come in. He's come in now. Was brilliant yesterday. Really made a case with the ball, with what he did. And Nate Hayes, we're going to get leg spin.
Leg spin has been the name of the game this weekend. We've had to wait 6 or 5-hole overs right now to get into it in the second innings.
Starts down the leg side, but Raja yesterday in his 4 overs gave up 11 runs and took 3 wickets and really was brilliant doing both. He wasn't a big turner of the ball, but got the balls to go on with the arm and then turn away as well. He was in the good area in terms of length. So if he operates in those areas again, we'll be fruitful. Punched. Oh, that's elegant. That is so elegant from Gerard Lumba. Again, it just helped over the top. Didn't look to overhit it. Made use of this final over of the power play with the timing and elegance.
And you see the loop of the delivery there. There's a little bit of loop and it dips. It dives down. And in the power play, you can do this. You can just poke it over the circle for 4 runs. And 1 more over from now, that's a single.
Yeah, again, it's just picking gaps, and it's brilliant from Lumba. That time Fuller on him, able to dig it out for 1. And now this is the key wicket, Nate. This is why Raja's come into the attack, because it's been Obis Pinar who's hit everybody for runs, and now you're trying to find a way to dismiss him, because if you do dismiss him, you take away a lot of the boundary hitting so far. Now Lumba's shown his ability to hit, but if you can get rid of Obis Pinar, you're back in the game, you feel.
Absolutely. Obis has done a lot with we haven't seen terrible bowling here, and he's punished the bowlers.
That's pushed into the offside. And again, I think for Raja, it's going to be really difficult and really interesting question of how does he look, what lengths does he look to bowl? He's gone Yorker length after the 2 boundaries. Is he willing to be aggressive and pull it back and look for that wicket-taking delivery? Short but flat. They'll just get 1 off of it.
Yeah, that's a delivery designed to limit the damage. And in the power play here as a spinner, it does take a little bit of courage to go for a wicket like that, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I don't love using Raja as the economical option in a power play. I think that he is your wicket-taking bowler. And you can bowl deliveries like that. That's a good area to bowl at, quick, turning a little bit. And that's more aggressive in nature. And that's what I want to see from Raja because he has that kind of capability. He's been brought in to take a wicket. If you just wanted to plug something up, you could have brought in maybe a Brian Gale or something of that nature. But they brought him in specifically to take a wicket. And I think he's got to be aggressive. Be okay to get hit. But be aggressive. It's good, though. He's only given up just those 3 singles, but that 1 boundary from Lumba will turn the over in the favor of the Baltimore Royals. 8 from it, and make it 9 with the wide. 6 gone, 59 for 1. Ravinder Prasad will continue, and I actually do like this move. You look at the scorecard and say, well, he got hit for 12 runs. I think it's rather unfair, those 12 runs. It was just pure class from Obis Panar, then, again, pure class. He's actually been in really good areas and troubled both batters. A little bit of a fumble in the infield, and Lumba was trying to run on it, and Panar not wanting to gift a wicket. We saw that run out change the game for the Raptors yesterday and really bring the Lions back into it.
And we saw one today also.
Gentle nudge into the onside, and Panar wants 2. They won't get it, but what you like to see here from the Baltimore Royals is they've been very comfortable getting the singles, but it's because they've gotten the boundaries early on in the over. The previous 2 overs, boundary off the very first delivery, right? You saw the Obis punch through the covers and then the lift up from Lumba over top of long off. That really eases your pressure. If you can get this start, if you're the Lions, you can kind of build some pressure, and this is the start of maybe building a little bit of pressure, right? Yes, 2 runs from the first 3 is not 3 dots, but there are no boundaries yet.
Yeah, this is a great start from Ravindra. Like you said, he gave up 12 in the last over, but it wasn't really a bad over.
1 down the ground, and this is ways to bring that required run rate back up. It's tucked under 7 now, but you get a quiet over here, maybe just give up 5 runs, then you're in position to start building some pressure. Stayed a touch low, gets through the infield. Could come back for a couple, and they will. They'll get 2 runs for their trouble.
Easily 2 runs, and now Obis, who has seen this bowler a few times, let's see if they can end it with a boundary. The last couple times, they started with 1.
Now just gets the singles, good areas, and it's good awareness from the Royals, not wanting to take on Prasad, who's bowling quite well. They'll get 6 off the over, and maybe the over that can start a trend for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. 7 gone, 65 for 1. that man there, Obis Pinar. He's put on a clinic so far, 35 off 24. Again, promoted up the order, new position for him to bat under, and he's still been so very good throughout this innings, and he's gotten off to a hot start. I think he's played to the merit pretty consistently, Nate.
Yeah, and every time there's been a full delivery, he's kind of defended it, nudged a single somewhere, and he's turned things into a back foot shot every chance that he's had.
Lead it with a low full toss down the ground for 1. And again, if you're the Fort Lauderdale Lions, if you can get a couple of overs here where the boundaries doesn't come off the first 3, you put pressure on the Royals to have to score that boundary or find a way to rectify that.
Right, and that last over, it was a very well bowled over by Red Bender, and it still went for 6.
Short, straight into the air, and dropped. Should have been taken. The drops killed him yesterday. They dropped John Campbell, and now they've put down Sharad Lumba on really what's very regulation.
Oh, that should have been taken to Garci. Was moving his feet quite a bit. I think he took a little bit of the wrong route to the ball. He kind of got to the wrong place early. You know, you want to say get to the spot catch early. I think he got a little bit to the wrong place early and then tried to move his feet underneath of it. And it's difficult when you're looking straight up.
Short again, cut away. They'll get 1. They could come back for 2, and they'll test the arm and get it. Good attentive running here from the Baltimore Royals and making the Fort Lauderdale Lions pay for the mistakes they've made.
Oof. Raj's probably having a hard time moving on from that. That should have been a catch on Lumba a couple balls prior.
He's been very short to Pinard as he looked pitch one up. Short again, just helped into the offside. They're going to come back for 2. They're running the sweeper around. And again, he's having to move a long way, and you can say, oh, the sweeper's got to be quick. This is placed from Pinar. He's not pushing it to the cover fielder. He's just maneuvering it into the gap there at sweeper.
Pinar at 40 from 27 hasn't had to force anything today. And still striking very well at a very good rate.
He's just been on cruise control, Nate. He's just played to the merit every single delivery. And again, there you go. You mentioned on the front foot, he's been a little bit more defensive. And that's why, if you're Raja, I don't mind you pitching it up. Dare him to take you on from there where it's turning.
Absolutely. Put some air underneath that. Try to hit that spot with a little bit more drift, or with a little bit more flight. Dare him, as you said, especially now that we've cleared the power play.
Better hit straight back, avoids the stumps, avoids the fielders, and will run. Won't get all the way to the boundary. Those 2 at the deep does well. And they'll keep it to just a couple of runs, but another fruitful over for the Baltimore Royals. 8 gone, it's 73 for 1.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, it looked like Ravinder Prasad was going to get the ball for a 3rd straight over. It looks like they've changed their mind. It won't be Ravinder Prasad that gets the ball in hand. It's going to be a new man into the attack. And we'll get you the name of this bowler. It is not Findlay on the back of his jersey. It'll be a new man in, but it'll be spin to continue. Let's see what we can get from the new man. It is going to be Siddiqui bowling the left arm spin. I'll start short. That is punished into the onside. Fielder's in place for that. A real breakfast ball to start for Siddiqui.
Yeah, we saw Siddiqui batting 27 from 20 in the first innings. A very good innings from him. key to setting this target.
Siddiqui, someone who's new to minor league cricket, quick single taken. He hasn't played a minor league cricket game yet, but in the South Florida Premier League T20, with the ball in hand, he's taken in 14 innings, taken 19 wickets with a strike rate of 16, and his best bowling figure is a 5 of 28. So he's a wicket taker down there. It's why he's been promoted. And good length since that initial delivery.
And Lumba taking the same strategy here, defending the fuller balls. Siddiqui, as I said, key to this target being reached. Let's see if he can be key to defending it.
That'll be wide, and he'll beat Ram Prasad. Not much does.
Oof.
And to add insult to injury, it'll race all the way to the boundary. Can't afford that if you're the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
We've seen a few extras so far in this innings. Little unfortunate that they're getting through the keeper there. Baltimore doesn't seem to need the help right now.
But what I want to say to the Fort Lauderdale Lions is make the Royals earn it. Anytime it's full, it's been tough to score. Keep it in those areas and keep it on good lines. This game is far from over. Again, you see it when it's full. That's usually a ball that you would say, oh, that's an area to hit. With this type of a surface where it is spinning off of it, it is hard to score there. Make them earn these runs.
17 extras right now.
Tickled into the leg side. Late call for 2, but they'll go ahead and get it in the end. It's good, attentive running here. And again, if you take away that wide, it's a 3-run over. But that wide makes them 8 runs, Nate.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. And you see Lumba there turning that one into a back foot shot. You could see the strategy, the tactics that the Baltimore Royals are. They're trying to go to the back foot.
Turning it into a back foot ball again and turning it into the onside again. It'll just be 1. So Lumba will hold on to strike. 9 gone, 83 for 1. Here you go. You see that on your screen. One of the features of Church Street Park, the analog scoreboard, and converted into this cricket venue, and really brilliant. I think it's something that Faisal Shah actually said he wished was around more, a scoreboard on every cricketing ground, so anyone walking by can tune into the game and know right away this is the score, this is the situation, and they can tune into the game with real interest.
And they can know how many balls are left.
There you go. Adam Khan now into the attack with the slip. This is good. The youngster was so good yesterday, but the missed fields are just killer.
Oh.
Adam Khan has come in and bowled a brilliant first delivery that's been hit straight to short cover, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions have leaked away 2 runs.
That's really harsh. That is really harsh. And as I've mentioned many times, we haven't really seen terrible bowling. We haven't seen bad bowling. That last over went for 10 runs in spite of Siddiqui doing a good job.
Again, really good length here from Adam Khan. He's understood the situation. We got a chance to talk to him yesterday, and what did he say? He said he understood what he wanted to do. He knows there's dew on it, but was just trying to get over the ball, grip it and rip it, and put it in the right areas. Helped into the onside, inventive work. But it'll just be a couple of runs, just one run there. And how crazy has this over been, Nate? The gentle nudge to cover went for 2, and this stroke has only found 1.
Yeah, this was well hit. Goes for 1, but that's the way it goes sometimes with cricket. Sometimes your best doesn't get you your best.
Just nudged away, and this is why Adam Khan took 2 wickets yesterday at an economy under 7. He was putting it in these areas consistently, and he's a young man who's making a name for himself. Hey, Major League rosters, hey, USA, I'm a leg spinner that is here, ready, and good to go. Innovative here from Obis Pinar. That's smart batting, no fine leg in place. I don't think it'll have the legs to get all the way, but they'll be able to come back for 3 runs.
For the 3rd time today, we have seen 3. And this is maybe a product of Obis having played that last ball on his back foot. It was a very full ball, and he still played it on the back foot. And I think he anticipated an even fuller ball, and he was able to just steer this into empty space for 3 runs.
Yeah, and it's a good way to get the bowler to get off his length as well. When you start scoring runs off a length, now the bowler thinks, okay, I have to change it up, and he can get shorter. Maybe he tries to push it full and ends up right in your zone. So it's a good option, and you wouldn't say safe, but a good option to score runs. This time, straight down the ground. Will just be 1 run out there. 4 runs off the over, and if there was no missed field, would have been 2. Excuse me, 4 runs not off this over, way more, and Alvin is just taking a shot.
Oh no, where did that get him?
Gonna hope he is all right here, and again, you can see him down, and all the players are now coming around to greet him. The ball was just getting back in, and he just walked right into it.
Oof. Oh, that is hard luck there. Alvin, an important part of this Morrisville cricket community. It looks like they're calling a call for the 3rd umpire to come in, at least to take a look. Who do we have over there? Is that VJ? In the 3rd umpire? Oh, he's going back to the
Govinda is the 3rd umpire today. And you can see he's got a smile on his face now. He's all right. He's a tough customer. Alvin is. And again, he's going to come back and say, I've been hit in the face plenty. And he's up and all right. We'll show you this because of that. Again, he's just hand on the ball there. And then he's turned around. Ball's coming back in. He's just kind of walked in. And it's caught him right in the cheek.
Oof.
Really up towards the eye, and again, glad to see him up smiling, just poking around his face a little bit, but he seems to be quite all right and in good spirits.
Hey, good umpire Alvin. He's always one to teach. He's a teacher. He's very good at helping other umpires improve, and he's definitely, if you umpire, you want to umpire with a guy like him.
Yeah,
He'll tell you where you go wrong.
Yeah, 100%, and he's someone who's so welcoming just beyond the umpiring room as well. I remember my first, couple games commentating, he started umpiring, and he was someone who taught me a lot, and we were talking to the groundsman here and the curator, Lance. It's really his first year in cricket. He's only been in Morrisville a year and a half, and he's been working a lot with Dave Agnew and company there to really prepare these surfaces, and Alvin was quick to say, hey, you're in really good company with those guys. He's just such a friendly character, Alvin is, and so it's always great to see him around, and good to see him on his feet, ready to go.
He's originally from Jamaica, and he still looks after cricket interests in Jamaica. He still helps out with old clubs over there and makes donations of his time.
And that'll close out the 10th over. Glad to see Alvin back on his feet. It's 90 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, we might have the best production crew in all of minor league cricket, and shots like that is the reason why. Clouds maneuvering their way over that crescent moon, and again, it's the brilliance of Church Street Park under the lights. Don't get a lot of night games in minor league cricket. We've seen it down in Dallas, and we've seen it pop up in other places, but Church Street's been the one where you get a lot of them. And now, new man into the attack. It'll be pace on the ball for the first time since that opening spell, and it's Kevin Stout who's going to get the ball. And you know, Stout had a great 2023, but so far with the ball hasn't been able to manufacture that same success.
Well, let's see what the strategy is going to be here. It looks like Mario's going to stand up, which we saw yesterday. We saw Stout missing his line a little bit when this happened, when the keeper stood up. But once again, Fort Lauderdale finds themselves in a situation here where they can't afford to give up a big over.
And right now getting those lights sorted out for you, but yeah, can't give up that big over. Again, they've done well to fight back into the game, haven't given up a lot of boundaries as of late. The Royals are just starting to steady the ship into victory, but the Lions again can take a wicket here. It just changes the whole complexion of this game. It's a deep batting lineup for the Royals, but still one that no batting lineup likes to lose wickets in a bundle. Kevin Stout has to take them now. Starts with a short one. It surprised Lumba there.
We finally saw a proper short ball. A little bit of 8, I think. That was an unusual amount of bounce, I believe.
And that unusual amount of bounce has prompted Mario Rampersad to take a step back and take the helmet off. And if you're Lumba, you think maybe you start to use your feet and attack wide, long off. Stayed low, given out. He's moved a long way across. I think the line of impact is your only question. But how about this? Kevin Stout, on his second legal delivery, takes a wicket.
Interestingly, that one looked like it went a little bit low, but let's take a look at the replay. As you mentioned, it's a fuller delivery. Ooh, that was good. That jutted back. I was questioning the line of that as well. Great call. Terrific call there by Tarek.
Well, Kevin Stout did what he did all of 2023, take wickets. Lumba goes 21 off 21, and now it's, 21 off 20, and the Baltimore Royals are 90 for 2. Ronak Sharma, the new man in. He hit the winning runs against the Atlanta Fire alongside Mohamed Mohsin, but now it's him with bat in hand and a steady climb here. 59 needed. Just run to third man this. And Nate, really the first signs, we've seen a couple stay low, but this one probably the most unpredictable ball we've seen so far.
Absolutely, and coming off of a ball that kind of climbed a little bit more than you would have thought. Very unusual. We've seen a very consistent wicket here. So that's, every once in a while that happens, though.
Well, Obis Pinar has got to be careful with the ones that stay low, because for him, a ball that stays low has kept very, very low. Again, high hands, tall man.
And liking to go on the back foot as much as he has.
Exactly. So he's got to be careful of that. Interested to see how it changes his approach. Short. I think might have just got a hand to it, Dudgeon Ryan, but it won't matter. It'll race towards the boundary for 4. Obis Pinar, that's where he likes it. Can't give it there. He'll pick up 4 runs. And they'll pick up a 50. A brilliant 50, a well-deserved one, and his first of the season.
He's got a round of applause going around the ground from fans who have seen him here before in green and blue for the Raptors, but he's doing it now in banana pudding.
Banana pudding, Nate Hayes' favorite phrase that he's ever coined about the Baltimore Royals. And it doesn't matter where Obis Pinar goes, runs will follow. Soft hands. Chance of a run out somewhere. Hits nobody but the funny bone of Ronak Sharma. That was fired in. And the Royals cannot afford any more injuries. We're going to hope it's just a stinger, but that was rapid right towards the elbow.
Oh my goodness, the luck of this team today. My God. Oh, it almost made no sense to throw the ball at that point, except, and it ends up right in. I'm sorry about laughing. This sucks so much for this guy. Oh.
Yeah, Ronak Sharma, he's in a great deal of pain. It was nearly a comedy of errors, that situation. Again, I think it just got him on the funny bone. That's why he's getting around.
I hope so.
It seems to be all right. We'll take another look at this. But again, you just see Obis Pinar. He plays with soft hands. He's not sure he wants the run. Lumba stranded halfway. And Rampersad probably could have thrown it either end of the ground. Fired it in, and it just caught that funny bone there.
Oof.
Again, going to hope he is all right. Again, you can see him just getting a little bit of treatment there, but he seems to be able to get his glove on. And again, it's been Obis Pinar smiling, Alvin smiling over there, so it seems to be good signs that things are going to be okay for Ronak Sharma.
Just terrible luck. Just terrible luck for Baltimore. They have just caught it rough every time. Look, you can see a little bit of a knot there on his elbow, too.
But he's all right. But here we go. He's going to be able to bat again. And again, we're glad to see that Ronak Sharma is going to be okay, because the injuries are starting to just pile up. We talked about Jaskar Malhotra's injury. We've seen Ravinder Singh today, Sarbjit Ludda today already. Mohammad Mohsin's gone because of the CPL. They can't really afford to lose any more members, and so for Ronak Sharma to be all right, it seems a good sign.
Yeah, it's great that he's continuing here. That is just the craziest luck today in this game, and last weekend too, on top of it.
No run on offer there, but Obis Pinar picked up his 50 in this 11th over. It's 96 for 2. Adam Khan continuing. He bowled well. No slip in place for him now. But again, his lengths have been spot on. And how good is it to see a young leg spinner start ripping it up? Yasser Muhammad's got a lot of looks because he's one of those young leggies. And so far in the South, we've seen Adam Khan and Adi Gupta, two youngsters, bowling incredibly well.
And both of these, another funny thing is, where we do have leggies, like you said, we don't have many in the U.S., where we do have good young leggies, they end up being on the same zonal teams. We saw Adam Khan and Adi Gupta in the same zonal team during the 2021 U19 National Championship. It took chances away from both of them.
One stage short, cries of catch it, but it'll go all the way. Obis Pinar, when he's on the back foot, it's almost too easy for him. 6 more.
That hit the sidewalk and careened awfully high. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't make it all the way across the street. Look, boom, just
careened. There you go. That's a word there. Open up your dictionary to get that one out.
There you go. I was hoping that you wouldn't say that word again. We just let it slide.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that word. That's why I'm just shocked that it's come out. But Obis Pinar, he's put it on such a performance that, it's maybe improved our vocabularies out here in the combox.
It means move swiftly in an uncontrolled way in a specific...
Now, I'm not saying you use it wrong. I wasn't saying you use it wrong.
I'm making sure. I'm just checking my own work here. Sometimes, we got to be honest with ourselves.
Happy accidents, right, as the great Bob Ross would have called it. The ball has been returned in as it was careened off of the concrete over there, in the words of Nate Hayes. And now for Adam Khan, how does he respond? He just got hit for 6. And again, it was because he was fractionally too short.
He got creamed and careened. Let's see if he can bounce back from that. You know, he's only really bowled maybe 2 bad balls all weekend.
Hit into the air is going to land in between 2 fielders. Touch unlucky for Adam Khan. It was just kind of sliced straight up, but a great response from the young man.
Yeah, another well-placed ball. Khan's confidence is going to take him through the occasional 6, the occasional 4, because he knows that he's performed here already. He knows that he's capable of doing, what he's done and what needs to be done. And it's great to see, especially since he's played so much of his youth cricket here. It was good to see the way the game finished yesterday and him getting more chances again tonight.
His lengths have just been spot on. There isn't much to really go after. You have to get underneath the ball very quickly. And again, despite that 1-6, it's still a brilliant over here from Adam Khan.
Yeah, even when bowlers have bowled good overs, though, Baltimore's been able to still score, and that shows that they're a good batting team.
Tick into the leg side to close out the 12th over. They'll get 1, a 9-run over, a good one, where Obis Pinar just was putting on a show. 105 for 2. Kevin Stout will continue with the ball in hand. Picked up the wicket of Sharad Lumban, a one that cut in and stayed low. But Obis Pinar has really been picking him up. Better length here from Stout. They'll get 1 for it, but the length is so vital. It's a pretty similar line to the one he got hit for 4 on, but this one pitched up, and Obis can't just rock onto the back foot.
Oh, no need to do anything special. If you were Baltimore, then you only have a 5.49 run rate required right now, so why not just take singles until you get a bad enough ball and then put it away.
There you go. And for Ronak Sharma, he was grazed on the elbow. How does he recover? Gets a short one, but it was well angled. You saw it cut in and cramp Sharma for room.
Yeah, that one climbed pretty well. Good short ball there from Stout. We see Mario still back, unlike last night where...
And I think it's because he is varying that length a little bit more. You've seen the ball cut quite a long way. And that one straying down the leg side. And Kevin Stout, it doesn't feel like he's running with that same rhythm from last season, doesn't it? When he was just kind of skipping through the crease lines.
He definitely doesn't look as fluid as last season.
Yeah, and again, it's a big miss for this team. A lot like we talk about with Baltimore, with Zaid Alam being that pace bowler that kind of opens everything up, and now they've added Batur. They would have hoped Kevin Stout would have been that same bowler. 2 back-to-back extras, and you can see it's not easy for Sharma here. He's shaking that left arm around. That's the arm that was struck.
Oof. That did not feel good, I bet. It's, ugh.
Yeah, that range of motion is just down. Even if it was just a stinger, it is definitely going to affect that range of motion and his ability to play wide of himself. And so you could get away with being wider because of the fact that Sharma is not able to play with that full arc. Oof. No run on offer. Stout is bowling well here when he's on line, and this is the kind of over, you've given up 3 runs, but if you can get out of it, okay, you can build some pressure on top of each other. The one thing I like, though, from the Fort Lauderdale Lions is they never seem to be out of the fight.
No, they're still fighting. Like I said before, I haven't really seen a terrible over from them yet. We had the one from Tagarsi that was a little bit too expensive. Otherwise, they've been right around there.
Dropped Ram Prasad. He doesn't drop many, but he's dropped this one. He's such a great keeper, Mario Rampersad. He's made a name for what he does with the gloves. But this time, in and out.
Ooh, hard luck there. Once again, difficult luck. It's not been an easy night back there behind the stumps. But yeah, oh, that is something that you got to take that one. And
it's regulation.
Mario will tell you that. He'll tell you got to take it 10 out of 10. And you said it, going wider from this batter after he's, bumped his elbow on. Well, he had the ball thrown at his elbow. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Straighter. Big shout. Given wide. Given wide. There was maybe a sound, and the batter, I think, is saying that the bat's come off the pad.
He's not saying much, I don't think.
No, I think he's right away. I think he held his hands up, say, I didn't touch it. And so I think what he's signaling is that there was bat pad on the way through, and I think the frustration for Stout and Rampersad is that they had him the previous delivery. And let's take a second look. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, it's a good call. I don't know if it hit anything, though. I think it was far enough away from his pad that it just didn't hit anything.
And it was signaled wide, so I think it was a good decision there. It's jumped off the surface.
Right.
Well done from Thodek there under pressure. With again, but no run on offer. Just 4 runs, 3 from extras. And the one thing you would have to say for the Fort Lauderdale Lions after this weekend, what they're going to want to do, or even in tomorrow's match, they've just hurt themselves routinely, haven't they? In the field, drop catches. They dropped Lumba. They've dropped now Shutema, and really regulation opportunities. They've misfielded quite a bit. That's just, those little moments are little battles that you've lost, and you add those up over a T20 match, it means you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've been in both of them.
Well bowled from Kevin Stout. When he was inside the wide lines, he was tough to play, hands on hips, because he thought he's had his man twice in that over. 13 gone, 109 for 2. Crescent moon here. The classic Obis Pinar jumps outside and races towards the boundary. That's vintage. We showed you that video earlier. It's almost a carbon copy.
That's exactly what he likes to do. He loves to create space to open up gaps on the offside. And after an overwatching from the other end, as his partner seems kind of stuck on the crease in spite of all those wides, Obis strikes right away.
This time on the back foot. We'll get it through the offside and just find 1 run out into the deep. But you saw it from Obis straight away. You saw Adam being able to get through his overs, pitched up. He anticipated it to be fuller, pulls himself outside and gives himself the license to free his hands.
Angling himself towards where he hit the ball. Yeah, that was class. And as you said, he's expecting the fuller ball. He's been kind of making them bowl that ball, and now he's going to go for runs there.
And now this field for Ronak Shutema, very interesting. They still packed out that leg side, and I'm curious to see what kind of strokes we see off the bat. Able to carve this one away. Super cover will come around. Just keep it to 1. And Adam Khan, again, I think we've talked about it a lot, and people who've seen us listen to this for 2 days are going to think that we're just hyping him up. But he's been so good for these first 2 games here in minor league cricket for him.
Yeah, he has, and he's always had to earn his chances. I think when you're younger, you don't get the long leash. He hasn't gotten a long run often in minor league cricket, but now he seems to have the confidence of his team, and for good reason. You can see why. He's able to execute.
He's earned it, and he's played a lot of youth cricket, was part of that under-19 camp, that selection camp under-19 for the USA, and again, he's just someone who just is beaming with confidence right now. And again, his balls like that, that's a great delivery on this surface. You would say on most other surfaces, oh, that's probably too far down the leg side, but he's intentionally bowling there because, okay, if Obis then decides to jump out, he's still cramping him for room, and he's put it on the right length.
Yeah, and if you talk to Dane Pete's a friend of ours, obviously, and if you talk to him about a player like, oh, another good delivery, Adam Khan, he'll tell you he's a good bowler. I remember one of the first conversations I ever had with Obis was about the spinners in the Southeast, and this was back in 2021, and he mentioned Adam Khan as one of the players to watch. Whoa.
How much has that turned a laugh from Obis Pinar as he's well left when he's jumped out. Adam Khan's got a smile on his face as well. 14 gone, highlighted by that incredible turn, and that man, he's spinning a web. 115 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Let's take a second look at the final delivery of the previous over. Adam Khan has spun this from well outside the leg stump to, what, sixth stump you say, Nate?
Yeah, fifth stump at least. That was quite some turn. Is that a brave leave by Obis, or did he know it was turning that much?
I don't know. I don't think anyone knew it was turning that much. I don't know if Adam Khan knew if it was turning that much, but Obis Pinar, I think, just said, I'd rather just leave this one alone than try to fend my hands at it and probably just slice it straight up into the infield.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great decision, but a risky one nonetheless.
He'll walk away with a good leave on his belt.
And let's see if Sharma, let's see how he's doing. He did score a single his last ball.
Yeah, able to get one away here into the offside. It's good to see. You can see him start to get that range of motion back. I think 2 overs ago wouldn't have played that big cut shot.
No, I think that's kind of taking it easy on him too, allowing him to play to the offside like that, to play singles to the offside. It's taking it easy on him a little. I think it doesn't ask a lot from his elbow. Last night I talked to Sanjay Stanley after the game. We saw him take a big spill on the pavement, trying to dodge Abram Bolisetti. And Sanjay told me after the game, his arm hurt so much, and it was so stiff after that fall directly on the elbow, as we saw in the replay last night, that it limited his range of motion with the bat. It gave him a tough time having good feel with the bat, he told me, and it limited his shot options. And you saw his best shot was a cut shot, that he moved his feet to give himself space, and that was the shot that was the most comfortable to him.
Yeah, again, it's always hard as a batter when you're not feeling right. Again, that drive is so much dependent on that top hand and pushing it through.
Right.
That you just, like you said, almost take it easy when you get that cut shot. When it's not a top-handed or a bottom-handed shot, but you get both hands are really involved.
But if you're a right-handed batter and you land on your left elbow, and you're allowed to take shots that are right arm strong shots,
sure,
you're taking it easy on the batter. I think put it at his legs. I think a little, and make him play the shot with his top hand.
And again, you can see the liking of Ronak Sharma to play those cut shots.
Yeah, that's chopping it over there. Yeah.
Exactly. He's not looking to be an expansive driver of the ball right now. It's because he can't be that expansive driver. So if you're Kevin Stout, pitch it up. Let him try to drive you on top of stumps. I don't think there are runs coming off of that. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think I would make his elbow work.
There you go. Make his elbow work for you if you're Kevin Stout. If you're Ronak Sharma, how can you find ways to get off strike? I think the word coming in from Thajnarayan Chandrapal would be exactly that. So how does he mitigate those options? Short and wide.
Once again, taking it. I'm asking for blood here. I'm sweep the leg, go for the kill. But yeah, I think anytime you're letting him play a bottom hand dominant shot, you're taking it easy on him.
Yeah, I think because of the width of that one, it was still okay because he's got to outstretch that elbow.
True.
We saw him not able to get fully away from himself. If you get short and, usually short and wide's all right, but short and wide is what the batters wanted, but this time it's all right. Clipped off his hips nicely. Well done there, but maybe a little battle won for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They'll be able to keep Sharma on strike into the 16th over. 15 gone, 31 needed from the final 5. .31 needed from 5, just over 6 runs and over needed. Looking to go big, it's gone straight up, and again fallen in the gap. Adam Kahn's going to feel very unlucky. He's entering the final over of his spell, and really deserves a wicket.
Yeah, and there you go. They gave him the overpitched ball, asking questions, and he just got lucky playing that where nobody was.
Yeah, and I think the message is across for Ronak Sharma. It's hit or get out here. Pinar gets it on to the back foot, and little bob will allow them to, no, they won't be able to get back for 2. Maybe a little lackadaisical taking that first one.
I think if you've been out there that long in the middle, I think you're a little bit more likely to assume something's going to just remain a single.
And again, I think the message here for Ronak Sharma is hit or get out. I don't think they're going to want him in the middle for that much longer. It's the last 5 overs. No, he's just looking to fend it away. I'm curious from Ronak Sharma here. Batting doesn't seem to be coming naturally to him. There's plenty of batters in the dugout. You still have the likes of Jerome Davis who can hold the bat. Zaid Alam considers himself an all-rounder as well. So there's still bats involved. And no run on offer. This is good from Adam Kahn because this can start to build some pressure on this Baltimore Royals attack.
We've seen some great bowling by Adam Kahn this weekend, and it's continued today. He's conceded 6 in his last over and 2 so far here.
In the air, cries of catch it. No one will. It'll sail into the crowd or hit the concrete, like Nate Hayes has said earlier, and it'll be 6 runs. Ronak Sharma, he's getting the party going.
That one, the launch angle on it, though, kept it from careening into the street. It was a good shot, though. What a wonderful shot here from a player. We've questioned the strength of his arm right now in terms of injury-related, as he got walloped in the funny bone earlier.
And just maneuvers this into the offside. We'll get 1 for his troubles, and a spell for Adam Kahn that is wicketless, but a good spell nonetheless. Under pressure, 4 gone for him. He's given up 31 runs, 16 gone. It's 127 for 2. Well, here we go. We mentioned hit or get out for Ronak Sharma. I don't think that's an option. Nate, we look at his batting lineup. Without Ravinder Singh, it's really Jerome Davis, and that's about it.
Ravinder Singh is one of 3 batters that's kind of been taken out of this team since they opened this season.
Pulled into the leg side. We'll find the fielder. Yeah, we talked Jaskar Malhotra gone. Mohammad Mohsin gone as well now. And so then you lose Ravinder Singh, and now you look at the rest of this order.
Tail's pretty long.
Yeah, you talk about Jerome Davis as your last recognized bat. We talked about Zed Alam's abilities with the bat in hand, but Jaskran Buttar is untested. Aryan Butler can hold the bat and get you singles if needed. Sarbjit Ladda, not someone who's given a lot of responsibility. And then Aryan Badupalli. And speak of tail being long, Sarbjit Ladda probably is not going to be able to hold the bat, Nate.
Yeah, good point. That's right. With his, I thought you were making a joke about his batting a bit.
Like in the sense of actually being able to hold the bat, he might not, because he's opened up the webbing in his right hand.
No, yeah, he's in trouble. Yeah, absolutely.
This team has really been needing to hold on to wickets, and now those drops from the Lions seem to be even bigger because you could have really taken this tail on. Pinar gets it into the offside. Sweeper cover will come around. Has to be quick. Pinar, that throw slightly high.
And that scamper there, plus that shot, is reminiscent of Obis's days with the Raptors, batting under the lights here in the death, trying to chase down ridiculous targets and successfully doing so. We've seen that scamper before with a lot more at stake.
Yeah, I think of that with, Colin Archibald and what they did with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And, against them and company. So
Ford.
This one helped behind square. Missed the line, Pastano, and is going to pay for that one. It'll be 4 runs, and you can see who's padded up there. I believe that is Jaskar Buttar padded up, who has to hit that ball back in, but Obis Pinar getting things going.
And looking at Buttar, oh, here we go. Look at this. Great. Once again on the hip. Jaskaran getting up high on his back leg to stay on top of that and just confidently drive the safest boundary you can think of, nudging a single right there.
You said speaking of Buttar, I want to talk about that running over there. How about that? That was terrific from him. He's showing off that he can sprint along with the pads on. It's always a question, right? How good are you with the pads on running between the wickets? Seems like he's going to be able to scamper 2 just fine.
Well, looking at his stats here, pretty good stuff. I think if they're down to him, that's pretty good for T20s.
Yeah, strike rate of 146. No run to close out this over. It'll be 14 needed from 3. You would say the Royals are ahead, but a couple wickets could change that. It's 135 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
That man on your screen has put on a clinic of T20 chasing here today. 74 from 52, and conditions weren't perfect for batting. He really had to work and grind out this innings, and he's gotten things going. Obis Pinar, he won the Major League, you remember, with the Washington Freedom this season, and someone a lot of people thought would have been a part of the T20 World Cup squad or maybe part of the T20s in Netherlands for the USA, but he's here with the Baltimore Royals, proving his worth.
Yeah, I think for those that follow closely, there's no question of his worth. He has been one of the better performing domestic players in Major League Cricket. Of course, he's on a team where he's actually able to play in a preferred role for him, which is kind of as a finisher. And he's able to do that with Washington when they lose more than a couple wickets.
Straight down the ground. It should just be 1. No, it's going to get all the way to the boundary for 4. Unable to get there was the fielder at long on. This is poor from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Really, it was hit straight and firm, but I can't quite believe that wasn't getting stopped there on the deep.
Yeah, that's tough to swallow there if you're Prasad.
This time into the offside. Obis Pinar finding gaps and finding them brilliantly. Will pick up a couple of the runs, and again, you just need 8 runs now with those first 2 deliveries.
He's taken him the distance. He started with the bat. He started the innings off for Baltimore. in the middle. And well, let's not count our eggs.
Straight back and bigger than the rest. Obis Pinar. That's into the trees, and it's made 2 runs needed.
And here we go. Here comes the box again. 2 runs to go. You got to get another ball out because Obis smashed that one into the gully.
That was just unbelievable from Obis Pinar. It sat up, asked to be hit. He rocked on to the back foot early. Take a look. Just stayed on that back foot. Weight transfer, brilliant. And even the camera couldn't quite believe it went that far away.
Perhaps the Heinrich Clausen of minor league cricket, maybe.
It looks a little like Heinrich Clausen there, you'd have to say. Just able to play anything on the back foot, and that's a stroke you don't see quite often. And now what could have been an interesting chase with a couple wickets in this over has turned into just 2 runs needed for Pinar as he moved past the 80s. And he'll get 1. They're going to push hard for 2. Has to beat the throw. And they'll get there in the end. Ronak Sharma does well. Obis Pinar take a bow. He's finished this game off for the Baltimore Royals in quite convincing style as the Fort Lauderdale Lions winning the toss again, couldn't get it done, and credit to that man, Obis Pinar.
Winning by 8 wickets there wasn't ever really in question once they got through a couple of tough spots. Not even that many tough spots. They actually managed to fend off any good bowling for at least 4, 5, 6 runs and over in the difficult times. But yeah, there you go. Excellent stuff. A great job by Ronak Sharma to put his injury aside and play for the team. The batting depth had just gone down even more with Ravinder Singh out after injuring himself in the first innings.
Yeah, absolutely. But make no mistake, it's Obis Pinar that has just been brilliant. 88 from 56. And for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, I don't think they bowled too poorly. There's a couple of overs on the fly. I thought Adam Khan was brilliant. 4 overs and 31 runs. Clinton Bastano was decent at times, but you felt that he was missing his line and lengths. And again, that was kind of the real key for me all the way through. I thought Kevin Stout maybe the pick of the bowlers. 3 overs, 13 runs, and a wicket to his name.
And I think if you're Fort Lauderdale, you're going to be happy to see that from Kevin Stout. But really, nobody else really kind of stood up and took charge in this innings like yesterday we saw. You have to have somebody come through and be a hero for your team sometimes.
Well, absolutely. And talk about heroes. Obis Pinar played a hero tonight. Did it with the bat in hand. 88 off 56 to chase down 149 in just 18 overs. This was a brilliant game here, Nate. It's match 2 at Church Street Park. We love being here under the lights, and that closes out what was a brilliant night. For Nate Hayes, for our entire broadcast crew headed by Bobber Beg and Astor Media, I'm Aman Patel. We thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Malik, who's one of the better runners in the league, and Bastano, the man you're impressed with, has ball 1. Swing early on. Just has to be careful to avoid that fly slip. Can't bowl there. Can't bowl there. That's far too easy. That's where he likes it. Far too easy for Obis Pinar. That'll be another boundary. Yes, it will. To be batting all day long. Easy pickings for Obis Pinar. It was short, it was wide, and it will run away to the boundary for 4.
Does a good job of it.
Picked up beautifully. It was just a fraction short, and Obis Pinar not rushed by the pace to 149. Big wide. It'll race towards the boundary and end up being 4 runs. He was trying to cries of catch it and taken. Brilliantly done in the end. He leaped a highway up into the air. This one's, I think, came off a little bit of bat. The swing, though, there and present. Balumbo will get off the mark straight away. Close, but full and straight again. But the length and the line is off. It's just far too straight with that swinging ball. Ravindra Prasad. That's brilliantly played from Obis Pinar. Just the simplest back foot punch. We talk about the power game. Really clinical. Picked up and put away. Obis Pinar rocking on to the back foot and hitting Prasad for 6. Points in those areas again will be fruitful. Punched. Oh, that's elegant. That is so elegant from Sherard Lumba. Again, it's just helped over the top.
Bending it.
That'll be wide, and he'll beat Ram Prasad. Not much does. And to add insult to injury, it'll race all the way to the boundary. Can't afford that. Stayed low, given out. He's moved a long way across. I think the line of impact is your only question. How if it changes its approach. Short. I think might have just got a hand to it, Dudgeon Ryan, but it won't matter. It'll race towards the boundary for 4. One stage short, cries of catch it, but it'll go all the way. Obis Pinar, when he's on the back foot, it's almost too easy for him. The classic Obis Pinar jumps outside and races towards the boundary. That's vintage. We showed you that video earlier. It's almost a carbon copy.
That's exactly.
In the air, cries of catch it. No one will. It'll sail into the crowd or hit the concrete.
Forward.
This one helped behind square. Missed the line, Pastano, and is going to pay for that one. It'll be 4 runs, and you can see who's padded up there.
And when they lose more than a couple wickets.
Straight down the ground. It should just be 1. Yeah, no, it's going to get all the way to the boundary for 4. Unable to get there was the fielder at long on.
Our eggs.
Straight back and bigger than the rest. Obis Pinar. That's into the trees, and it's made 2 runs needed.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.